upon us. It is time for us to choose. A new age is upon us. It is time for us to choose. A new age is upon us. is time for us to choose. A new age is upon us. It is time for us to choose. A new age is upon us. It is time for us to choose. A new age is upon us.
All right, there we go. That is on. Let's undo that. Hello, viewers. I think my screen share is not working. There we go. Okay, where am I? There's that. Chat there. There we go. I had it right the first time. Hello, viewers, and welcome to our second episode, Sword Coast Curios, where we take Storm King's Thunder, a 5th edition D&D module, as a framework for a series of adventures around the Sword Coast. We had our last episode last week, well, first episode last week, where our party, who had been staying in Luskan, the city of sails, and had unfortunately been pickpocketed of their coin purses, relieved for a higher purpose. Tracking down the thieves, the party ended up in the sewers beneath the city. After an encounter with a group of faithful Kuatoa, the party dug deeper into the lair of something shaking the sewers. When the party discovered that this quaking was caused by a creature of elemental earth, presuming to have been empowered by the Kuatoa's ability to pray something into godhood, it was unfortunate that two of our party met an untimely demise. Aruckus, the Aarakocra warlock, and V, the Asimar barbarian, fell to this creature's divine might. Bulwark and Blue, our surviving two party members, fled out of the sewers via rank sewage, ending up on the shore of a rocky cliff face just outside of the city. That's where we're going to pick up today. Before we get in too deep, today's stream could be interrupted due to some real world responsibilities. If that's the case, we do have a few things in place to be able to discuss. Worst case scenario, we cut the stream short, but we'll try not to do that. Hmm. In the meantime, while we wait for the rest of the crew to join us in today, I look all right on camera. To recap the adventure as a whole, for those of you that might not have seen the first episode last week, the party started off in the town of Nightstone, which had been besieged by goblins. After evicting the marauders from the town, the party was able to collaborate with a group of guards to remove a contingent of mercenaries that had arrived and hoped to put a foothold into the small village. Unfortunately, some of the guards died, but upon securing the town's safety, the party was able to retrieve most of the villagers from a nearby cavern system, um, where they were being kept hostage by the remainder of said goblins. Trekking around the Sword Coast to deliver notices to next of kin for those that had died in the attack, the party had met a cloud giant on his floating tower, who was kind enough to escort them to the far north, the Icewind Dale. Protecting that town from an onslaught of frost giants, the party began to work their way down the Sword Coast on several tasks, escorting a man to Luskin, who had been presuming that his father's relationship to the frost giants was the cause of their arrival in Bryn Shander in the first place. And that's where we find ourselves. For a more detailed description, I highly recommend you go back to the first episode where it's laid out a bit more clearly. That's an odd question. Hope everyone's doing all right today. We'll get started here in just a moment. Hey, Joe. Hey, Jack.
Hey, Tony.
Hi. We're live. And I've
Oh,
run out of
very
things
lovely.
to talk to myself about.
I'm
Hmm.
about to go live on my end for the player side.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, for everyone in chat, can I get a happy birthday? My dad's turned 50 today. He's
Oh, happy
old.
birthday, Dad. Jack's dad. Dad's Jack.
Stonk.
As you probably just heard Joe say, there is a complimentary stream, a side stream that's going to show off more of the player's side of what happens. So if you don't want to see the things that are happening behind the screen, that's where you'll go. Joe, what is your Twitch so that people can find this, or can they just find it by being on the channel?
He's deafened. Give me.
Yes, he is.
Let me bother him real quick.
I don't know. This is my first real experience using Twitch. This episode and the last one.
Yeah, I'll shoot him a message real quick.
Hello.
Hi, Ollie. Welcome.
Thank you. How is everyone?
What was the exact question again?
If people want to find the player side of things, do they need to go to a different channel, or is it going to be on this one?
Okay.
Ollie, your audio was a little quiet.
Okay. I
Nope.
can try to speak louder. My mic is not the greatest today.
Oh, actually, I can hear you fine now. I don't know what changed.
Perfect. It probably was literally just me talking louder.
Well, once Joe gets his thing sorted out, we will start. We have a few minutes before 6:30 happens anyway.
Didn't realize how much random edited items I have in my inventory. I'm adding dwarvish battle axes to boots.
Oh, you don't need to.
There you go. Who's got a message now?
I've still got vials of dripping cave fungi. I forgot. Is that poisonous?
If it was, it is probably bad. It's been like 2 months since you collected those specimens. They're moldy fungi now. What happens to fungus when they get?
I think it's been longer than 2 months.
Is it sort of like when you get super cancer, where your cancer gets cancer and they cancel out?
No, they rot. They don't mold or anything, they just start rotting.
Interesting. I don't eat mushrooms. I think they're disgusting, so I did not know that before now. I guess before we start, we're not sponsored, but we do use some artists' music with his permission. So big shout out to the French musician Orang. I hope I'm saying that right. He's been kind enough to let us use his music for the intro, the middle sequence for our breaks, and then the outro. I really like the intro one, so I think that one's going to stay the same. But this week, the break song and the outro song, I changed up a little bit.
Keeping it fresh.
Yeah.
Hey.
All right. Yeah, so Blue and Bulwark, you find yourselves pulling yourselves up onto a rocky promontory in the bay outside of Luskin, collapsing down and looking out at the evening sun. Soaking wet, the seawater having rinsed off the sewage, at least. Describe your characters and what they look like right now.
Well, Blue is pretty big, tall, a little bit wide as well. Furbolg with pale blue skin and shaggy brown hair. He wears bone mail armor and has a massive shield that has vines and other vegetation sort of growing in and around the wooden planks that make it up due to the small amounts of dirt that's managed to take hold there. And right now, he specifically looks very disheveled and has probably tear streaks running down his face as he has just failed to save two of his friends.
Bulwark is currently doing doggy paddles through some sea water. His dreadlocks are basically floating along the water. He's a stocky dwarf, even for hill dwarf standards, with glorious terracotta brown skin and quite light golden brown eyes. He'd usually be wearing armor, but he doesn't have any armor right now, spending all of it on plate. And I'd imagine that all of his tools that are around his belt are sort of weighing him down as he's trying to swim to some shore. He's got a really long, 1,000-yard stare as if he's almost looking directly into the sun.
Mm. As you pull yourself up bulwark and catch your breath from having to swim to this rocky offshoot, what would the two of you like to do?
Bubble could extend his hands to Blue and ask for a hug.
Yeah, Blue would reach down and it would probably be quite an awkward hug. So actually, he's going to get on his knees and hug Bulwark and sort of share a moment there as he remembers the very recent events. And after that, I think he would just sort of retract from that hug and lie down. It's not like what kind of beaches is just sort of a rocky shoreline.
So you're not quite on the beach where you are. There is. Did I drag you to the map? I did not. If you look at this map here, there are a couple of rocky offshoots, like here, for example. I would say that's probably the little rocky island that you're on. I think that's a very like somber image, right? Like you two having that moment as the sun is setting.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think after that, Blue would just lay down on his back and look up into the sky as it becomes night.
And I think Bulwark will turn to Blue and say, I don't know how familiar you are with the politics here, but I told you I was from Abadar. Do you remember that?
I remember it being mentioned.
And walking into the city after what happened in Bernstander, I thought I was ready to return home. To think coming up to 3 years ago, I was and Bulwark will just sort of look further into the sun, a guard for the young Prince Harumbrum. I was his personal defender, and on a battle I let him die. And on that battlefield, I just ran south. I ran south on my horse. And when I ran out of food, I sold my horse. And then when I ran out of food again, I sold everything else and I kept going south. And that's why I went up into Nightstone. And I left his two young boys, those boys that I loved, up in Abdar alone. And I thought I was ready to come back home, but I don't think I am anymore, Blue. I don't think I am.
I think Blue sort of thinks this over for a second and says, what happened? How did he die?
We were fighting a war against the Many Arrows clan, and the young king at the time just got a little too overzealous. And I was right next to him, assigned at birth to stop him from dying, and I didn't. And the arrow went right in between his neck, where his helmet met his shoulder pads. And he died in an instant, like the many men around us.
Um, I'm sorry to hear that, Paul. I haven't really experienced a war, but I can imagine it's a difficult environment to stop one person getting killed, if anyone.
Yes.
I don't think it's something that could really be expected of you on a battlefield.
I think you're a bit unaware of the pressures put against me, but anyway, I just needed to share that story because I'm feeling it happen again right now. And I think after saying that, Bulwark is gonna stand up and gonna start trying to find his way back to the inn to his dog because he needs a nap.
All right.
If I'm not sure that Blue does want to leave, I think a nice nap on this beach would serve him well. But if we were to try and get back, are we gonna have to swim across that massive bit of ocean?
You would have to swim across that channel, yeah. It doesn't appear to be flowing particularly fast, although it definitely is traveling. I suppose this would be outward to the sea, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
If I fail an athletics check, do I drown and die?
I think that at this point in the evening, it's not. I don't think it would be necessary to roll an athletics check to swim across that distance. I think that as you collect yourselves on the Dragon Beach and work your way past the wall and back to the One-Eyed Jacks, it begins to rain. It's fairly warm. It's not overly heavy at this point, but you do find that as the night falls, it's just kind of another thing on top of the shit Sunday of the day, you know. As you approach the One-Eyed Jacks and open the door, contrary to the lively scene that you had found yourselves the night before, the bar is completely empty save for one figure. This figure is dressed in fantastic dark purples and blue leathers that have this gold trim. He wears a matching wide-brimmed purple hat with a large white feather sticking into the right side. He is throwing a red ball against the wall next to the door, and it takes you a moment, Bulwark, but you realize that he's playing with your dog. And as you enter, Ava catches the ball and runs it back to him. And he looks up to greet you. And you see that he is a dark gray skinned drow with a large black leather eye patch over his left eye. And he says, "Welcome. Please come in, have a seat." And he gestures to two stools in front of the bench that he's sitting on.
Jack, I suppose. And we'll start walking over to one of the benches.
Very perceptive of you. And he gives a half-hearted chuckle.
So the bar is completely empty except for him?
Correct.
Interesting. Oh, okay. I guess, yeah, Blue will go over and sit on this stool, hoping that it's sturdy enough.
As you approach, he does have a rapier on his left, and on his right hip is this metallic object. It's a tube, probably about 6 inches wide, a black metal that curves into what is presumably a handle. And as you both take a seat, he unlatches the leather strap holding the rapier and sticks it in between a slat in between the two wood panels of the bench, and with a motion unlatches the metal tube. And as he holds it up, he pushes a piece of the inner workings of it, and a piece pops out. And he begins to remove these 6 cartridges, and he places the tube on his right and the cartridges on the left. And he says, I suppose introductions are due. My name is Yarlaxle, and I know that you, Firbolg, are blue. And you, sir, are Bulwark. Is this correct?
Mm-hmm.
You seem quite
There's a
somber.
nod.
No. You seem quite somber, and there are 2 of you missing, so I will presume that they are no longer a part of your band. In any case, you have my sincerest condolences, whether the parting was mutual or not. However, you have made quite a stir at my bar. It's not very frequent that one of the not so fair folk take residence here. May I ask what your business is?
Um, I've been around a bit, and I've been on one too many battlefields. And after a while, all the faces sort of look the same. I, trying not to let the battles of my grandfather affect my life and the friends that my grandchildren will have. If you think it's strange that a dwarf come here, well, it is. Mainly because I don't want to pick the fights of old. As far as I'm concerned, what happened in the history books is a tale of what should not occur again. So if this is a question of ancient grievances, we have none. We simply just looked for a room with reasonable accommodation, as we're running low on funds. And whether you would be drow, whether you would be goblins, or whether you would be dwarves, if you seemed nice enough, there's no reason we wouldn't come.
He places his elbows on his knees and his hands together, leaving his chin sitting on top of them. He says, "Now that is curious. A dwarf who has no ill intent against a drow. Would you care to be a liaison, then, between my kind and yours?"
I'll have a quick look up to Blue and shrug my shoulders, as if to say, I don't think we've got any better to do.
If you are so short on coin, I could patron. I could offer you payment for a service. You seem as if you are the adventuring type, lack of armor though you may have.
I'm, I mean, I think I would want to rest for a day or 2 before taking on any quests. But I mean, I have no problem helping you, depending on what help you need.
This is most good to hear. He reaches into a breast pocket and he pulls out a letter. And on the letter is a wax seal in the shape of his hat, it would appear. minus the hook. It's usually a pin. And he says, "This envelope, you are not to open it. It is to be delivered to the King of Gauntlgrim. It is a gift and a warning for his eyes only."
I see. Where is Gauntlgrim? Could you show us on the map?
Well, Gauntlgrim is in the Underdark, beneath the Neverwinter Wood. And Blue, as you pull out the map that Aruckus left you, or presumably gave to you as you were driving the cart,
Mm-hmm.
he would point to approximately here. Oh, I didn't drag you over to the map. I'm not good at that. And he says, the closest entrance that you will find to the Underdark is here. In Gauntlgrim lies nearly directly below Mount Hotno.
Sorry, could you ping again? I think I missed it.
I have drawn 2 dots on the map.
Oh, I see. Gotcha.
Can he see crap?
It's in the woods. We haven't been in many woods.
Oh, wait, over here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Why is this not wanting to let me write on it? Ooh, there's Gauntlgrim. Doesn't need to be that big, though.
Everyone knows Gauntlgrim is thick.
I can make the dot bigger if that's what you need.
And what exactly is your relation with the King of Gauntlgrim?
My relationship with the King of Gauntlgrim is one that has not been long established. I think I may have once seen him on the fields of the War of the Silver Marches.
And what is the issue this letter encompasses? Are you asking for a parley or a ceasefire? Or
It is a warning and a gift.
as you can go?
I think Blue was just going to whisper to Bulwark. If he doesn't want us to read the letter, I don't think he's going to tell us much more.
Well, can we? Sure.
Could I make an insight check?
What are you trying to ascertain?
I don't know, just to get a general sense of the guy, if he seems trustworthy to me.
All right. Give me just 1 second. Yeah, go ahead and make an insight check.
Oh, I'll switch that to not whisper. That was a mistake.
How do you make... Ollie, how do you make the... That's what he looks like, by the way. Very cool. How do you make the D&D Beyond thing make whispers?
So on D&D Beyond, you click on the Beyond 20 button, and then it's got whisper rolls and type of rolls. And you
It
can change
sure
to whisper.
does. That's awesome. Oop. Nope, that's not what I wanted to click.
I'm going to do.
Did you have advantage for some reason?
No, I didn't.
Okay. He is very hard to get a read of, Blue. It seems like he is speaking around something, but he has this natural force of presence that almost makes you feel as if he's, even if he was lying, he wouldn't necessarily care if you knew that he was.
Well, if you're going to be dealing with vagaties, I don't know if that's the right word. Sorry, common's not my first language. Um, with the mission, can we get some dot points on actual payment? When, where, how much?
He reaches behind him to where you have previously not been able to see on the table and places a coin pouch uh, between his legs. And he says, 1,000 gold up front.
Hmm. And how much after?
After, if the job is completed, and I will know if it is not. You can consider yourself to be a friend in good standing of One-Eyed Jacks.
Hmm.
And if I had need of further work from you, I would know how to seek you out.
Would you know how many days' walk it is to this kingdom?
It is perhaps a 3-day journey to the entrance to the world below. To Gauntlgrim, from that entrance, a day, possibly 2.
Hmm. Do you have a map or any directions that we can use to find Gauntlgrim? While I've never been down in the Underdark, it's uh, notorious for being easy to get lost in.
Indeed it is, but unfortunately, no, I do not.
You haven't been in the Underdark, have you, Blue, if you're wondering?
No, definitely not.
Okay, well.
Always wanted to see it though.
Well, thank you. I don't suppose that you've made everyone vacate the inn for this arrangement. I'm sure they can come back in now, unless you have anything else you want to discuss.
No. I believe that if you are accepting the job, then that concludes my business here. But indeed, the bar has been vacated for the safety of my staff. These types of meetings, they can go any kind of way.
Hmm. Well, I have a small token in return. Um, are you a collector of fine things?
He smiles and lifts one leg and crosses it over the other knee and says, only the finest, of course.
I'm not sure if this is in your ballpark, and I'll take out the bear totem from the Egghead tribe.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say, a religious artifact from the Dales. Not worth much in material and craftsmanship, but I'm sure rarity.
He reaches out his
A nice
hand
story piece as well.
and takes it from you. And he, examines it. He twists it around, uh, lifts the eye patch to where you see there is indeed a second eye. And he says, how quaint. I think I can think of a use for this. And then he places the eye patch back over his eye and stows the totem in a pocket. In
I
exchange,
think Bulwark will
he reaches out the the coin purse to the both of you.
I'll grab it with one hand and offer out a handshake with the other.
He places the letter in the second outreached hand.
Um, to hoping that our grandchildren can be friends. Huh?
And he
Shake his hand.
nods and shakes your hand as well. He says, I think that this is the beginning of a most fruitful relationship. Your room
Okay, I'm gonna.
is on the house tonight. Keep your doors locked. As I said, the staff has vacated for the evening, and the bar is closed. He gets up. He places his cartridges back in this strange metallic device, sheathes both his elegant rapier and the uh, metallic device, and walks out of the bar. The jingling of his boots stirrups, the only audible noise.
Blue will just wave as he leaves and say bye.
Safe travels. And he closes the door, and you hear it lock.
Oh no.
So we alone in here tonight, Bulwark.
Maybe. I'm gonna start moving on to the other side of the bar, and I'll take out some alcohol, and I'll leave the equivalent in its monetary value on the top of the tab.
So you don't find so much of things like an ale or a beer, but a fine selection of wine. Um, for a bottle, you would probably consider 2 silver to be an equitable amount.
What's the nicest wine they have?
So I think probably the nicest wine they would have is a. Well, make an investigation check first.
I'm just rummaging through all of the cupboards. And I'm so short I gotta like climb up them like a step ladder.
So I think the nicest thing that you find is a vintage um, hailing from Golden Fields, which is a town far to the south. It would probably be worth a gold.
I'll take it. And I'll say to Blue, hey, we gotta go down the golden fields. Maybe this is a sign.
I don't think I'm gonna be drinking anything, Bulwark, so you enjoy.
That's it. I'm just gonna pop a bottle of wine and have a little snuggle with Ava. Have a nice sleep. And I'm gonna go to bed.
All right, Blue, did you want to do anything before you hit a long rest?
He's gonna rest in his room for just a little bit until he's had what I guess we could consider the equivalent of a short rest, and then he's going to use wild shape to sort of. There's a window in this room, right?
Yes.
He's going to use wild companion to summon a mockingjay.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Have it sort of just fly around the room and take out some rations, feed it, even though it's kind of a fake
Mm-hmm.
fed, but it's going to eat it anyway. And then he's going to open the window and it's going to fly off for the remainder of its short presence here and into the sunset. Oh, I said mockingjay into blue jay.
Okay. As you both fall to your slumber, it is a quiet night within the safety behind two locked doors of the one-eyed jacks. As you wake up and hear the sounds of commotion below, your rooms fill with the scent of baked breakfast, a soft smell of pastry, and the savory scents of eggs and pork uh, fill the space. Um, and there is the sound of a number of conversations happening below.
I guess Blue will go and find Bulwark and wish him good morning, and then ask, Bulwark, how much longer do you need to stay in the city?
I think I've got 2 days left.
Okay. I'm sure you feel the same way, but I'd like to leave as soon as possible.
Yeah, I do. The first thing I'm going to do when I wake up is I'm going to cast Detect Magic as a ritual to see if there's anything fucky with the letter.
There is nothing magical about the letter.
I can swap out cantrips every level, is that right? I can't.
I don't know off the top of my head. I could find out real quick.
Okay. Yeah.
When you gain a level,
Well,
yes.
I'm going to. Okay. Sweet. God damn it. I was gonna fucking open up the letter, then mending, close it back. I don't have mending right now.
Well, he's asked us not to open it. I think we should, if we're going to do business with him, we should obey the first thing he's asked us to do.
I know, but I don't want to be the man who delivers the letter that says, "Hey, fuck you, get away from my shit." You know.
Well, yes, that's also true. I don't know. I didn't distrust him. I definitely didn't trust him either.
Well, I distrusted everyone equally. So that's yeah. If it was a dwarf asking us to deliver the letter or anyone, I still would have opened it up if I could. And I say it very, very whisperly to Blue, but it looks like I've got to keep my promise.
Well, I mean, you might not have the mending spell, but I'm sure if you're careful enough, you could still potentially be able to open it up.
I'm not going to take that risk. I'm not proficient in papermaker's tools. I'm just going to go to work and try and get that fucking breastplate finished.
Okay.
So Blue, as Bulwark heads out to begin completion of the resizing of his suit of plate mail, what would you like to do?
I'm not really sure. I don't think Blue has too much to do. I guess maybe he would I think before Bulwark leaves, he would ask to have a look at that amulet that they found yesterday.
I'll chuck him the amulet.
All right.
Real quick, don't mean to detract from the game, but are we meant to be level 7 now?
No.
We're level 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank God.
Wait,
Yep.
we're level 6?
You are level 6.
Well,
Have you not been
no,
level?
I am level 6.
I was about to say, have you not been level 6 this whole time?
No, I thought I was level 7, and my artificer in another game is level 7. My bad.
Oh, okay.
I guess Blue will just, because if I remember correctly, it was like a carving of a Kuatoa, right?
Yes, it is a golden carving of a Kuatoa on what you first thought was a silver chain, but it looks a little bit different than silver.
I'm assuming I wouldn't know what it is.
You can make a nature check. So you presume that this is mithril, um, a material used by elvish smiths.
Wow, it's very nice. And it feels magical to the touch, right?
Um, I think there's a thing in the DM's guide that magic items do feel magical, doesn't it?
I
Oh,
think
well, actually, Bulwark, when your detect magic went off, you would have known that it was a magical amulet.
yeah, and I also
Yeah.
yesterday did cast detect magic as well, so I knew that. I was just sort of getting a feel for
Yes.
how blue feels about it right now. Um, I think, I guess, yeah, I'm gonna try to attune to it.
Okay. So, Bulwark, as you head out for the day's work, you are crossing from crossing the street out of the One-Eyed Jacks in the direction of um, the business district.
Oh, I just want to make it clear I've left all of my valuables with Blue, and I told him not to leave the room, and I will tell Ava as best as I can to guard Blue so he doesn't get our shit stolen again.
As you leave without any of your material belongings, you notice an elf who seems rather disappointed. Uh, he's crossing the street out of Cutlass Island, uh, and happens to cross your path, and seems like a figure that you would take note of.
Like, sort of like pacing back and forth.
Um, more like he's leaving from somewhere.
I'll say to him in Elvish, "You alright, mate?"
Kuro, a rather stout, dark-skinned dwarf wearing um, basically undergarments, approaches you and asks if you're all right. What does Kuro look like?
Kuro is just over, just around 6 foot tall, light-skinned, high elf with long, unkempt black hair, wearing under a dark um, cloak, basic clothing. Um, on his hip, he's got a rapier. You could see he's on his lower back. You could possibly see the handle of a short sword, and he's carrying a very basic looking staff. And as you look at him, you can see um, his eye color isn't normal, and it's a light pink. And Kuro will say to go work in dwarvish. I'm doing all right.
Oh, that's a pleasant surprise. I'll say in common. Are you heading anywhere, or
I was just leaving the host tower. Uh, mm,
the Hus Tower?
the
Oh,
host
that's
tower.
the.
You'll point
Uh,
at the tree tower that all the magic fired off a couple days ago.
you get kicked out as well. My friend tried to go up there, and he was told to basically feck off.
No, I didn't leave. I didn't get. I wasn't. Uh, the,
Long story.
it's more that the what's the words? What is the word? I can't remember. I don't care. That's like the magic. The teachings weren't as what I wanted, and so I left. I've been there for about 5 years now, and I learned barely anything.
Hmm. Well, if you want a piece of advice before I head off to work, the best way to learn how to use magic is to go around adventuring and fighting shit. That's how I
Uh,
got pretty good.
Don't worry, I've trained quite a bit in my couple 100 years.
Okay, then, well, you outclass me by a lot. I haven't even broke my first century. Um, well, I've got a job. I will catch you round. Bulwark, by the way.
Kuro Alistair.
Mm. I've got a friend called Blue in the, forget the name, One-Eyed Jack's Tavern. Probably chat to him for a bit. He's a nice guy. I want to talk about magic and stuff.
Might I ask where you're heading off to?
Well, I'm heading off to a blacksmith.
He'll look down at his rapier. Mind if I come along?
Sure. Let's see if they can get you something new.
I'll follow along.
As both of you head to the town's blacksmith, whose name I have forgotten, I'm going to say Dagon. We're going to call him Dagon going forward. As you get to Dagon's shop, he is opening up almost just as you arrive and greets you, Bulwark. Well, glad to see you back. Strangest thing, the shop quoke like a quaked like a beaver dam falling apart yesterday. I'm gonna have a good job cleaning up before we get started.
I always enjoyed cleaning up. Good part of the day to clear your head out. Whereabouts do you keep your brooms? And we'll just get straight into it. Oh yeah. This guy over here might want to watch for a bit. Don't know exactly what he's up to, but he seems well enough. Speaks Dwarvish, so he's in my good books.
Can I help you, Master Elf?
I'm just looking for a couple of spare weaponry.
Anything in particular? I have a rack that if you buy something, I'll take a gold off it, saving you from having to pick it back up off the floor.
A couple extra maybe rapiers and short swords. You know how stuff happens out in the wilds.
You trying to outfit a platoon? What do you need so many rapiers and short swords for?
I just maybe a couple extra daggers as well. I don't know.
All right. Well, I got 2 rapiers, a short sword, and 3 daggers. If you want, give you the lot for 75 gold.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Have your pick. Whatever you pick up. And he points to a couple of weapons that are scattered on the floor from the quaking of the previous day that he had mentioned.
Oh, okay.
What happened?
Sorry, I didn't catch that last part.
The quaking, it was the Zorn. These poor people. A lot of earthquakes recently.
Gravity's strong around here.
And he says, he once he finishes that transaction, Bulwark, he turns to you and says, you're gonna be mostly on your own today. I've got to finish up work on a bit of breastplate for a man that came in. Odd-looking fellow. Claims his ship was destroyed when the mages destroyed that giant longship the other day.
Was he a giant?
No, just a man, but I need to finish the work on the commission. He should be in by the end of the day today.
Well, I think I know the shop well enough. If I got any questions, I'll hunt you down.
Hi. Kuro, do you just hang around the shop with Bulwark, or
Yeah, I'll hang around with Bulwark.
how does Bulwark feel about having an observer throughout the day?
I think Bulwark would enjoy it. I think Bulwark's been Bulwark. I think is the kind of dwarf that can like look Curio in the eye and talk to him while he's like forging a breastplate or while he's resizing everything, just because he knows it all by hand so well. So I think he'd just be having like a regular conversation about everything.
Okay.
Nothing too deep, but just like a general like pub talk. He's still a little bit drunk from last night.
The day
I
where
also
go ahead.
I also sent you a message on Discord or something I'd like to sort of like engrave into the front breastplate of it.
Make a Smith's Tools check, and I want you to use your dexterity as the stat.
Can I guide myself?
Yeah, I think for this you can.
Oh my! Hey, that is.
It's still a 12. It's still a 12. It's not your best work. I think that the bird's wings come out looking a bit chonky, right? And the flame for reference, what he's trying to accomplish is engrave the front of the breastplate with a bird holding a halberd, and the end of the halberd is on fire. Well, one end is on fire, and the bottom of it is frozen. I think that, like I said, the bird's wings come out a bit disproportionate to the rest of its body, and the flames kind of look like what you would put like kind of like what people put on hot rods, and it kind of ruins the car. You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
I think that even you recognize like it's not your best work, but once it's engraved in there, it's in there.
I can always buff it out.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the end for me.
Kuro, did you want to accomplish anything before the end of the day?
Not really. No, he's got no job to go back to. He hasn't got anything to really do, so he's just hanging around Bulwark.
All right. Blue, as you have as you've been focusing on this amulet, wearing it, you do attune to it. It reaches out to you to form a link. As you feel the connection be made, the molding of the icon changes. Well, actually, pretty much the entire necklace changes to where the gold seems to become liquid for a moment and ride up the chain, and form the chain itself as the mithril element descends down into the amulet itself. And the amulet forms into a symbol of Selune. I don't know it off the top of my head. I believe it is a crescent moon.
I'm pretty yes. Yeah. No, the other one I was thinking of was Allah. Yeah, that's a different pantheon. Very cool.
And it is an amulet of the devout +1.
As much as I love this as well, I'm gonna miss the fish.
It seems to have changed based on the worshipped deity of the wearer.
Yeah. And I think Blue will sort of hold it in his hands, and he hasn't been, as we've discussed, he hasn't been too active in, specifically worshipping Saloon. It was more sort of her ideals, and focusing less on the god and more on
Yeah.
sort of portfolio, as it were. But I think now he sort of whispers a prayer of thanks to her, and also I don't know, I think sort of a mournful prayer, and reminisces about his friends in sort of like just a short conversation with himself, but perhaps is God also here.
It might be a trick of the light, or it might be your mind, or it might be a sign, but as you whisper your prayer into the amulet, you swear that the sliver of the moon shines as you look at it.
Blue is going to take his 500 gold share and put that pouch with Bulwark's pouch. And when Bulwark comes back, he will give both back to him. And that's all I really want to do for the day.
Bulwark, as you and Dagon and Kuro are closing up the shop in the evening, a man approaches. He has two broadswords, one on each hip, and a very fine duster cloak. And he begins to barter with Dagon for the completion of the breastplate. Kian, what does Cole look like?
Right. Cole is a human, not much taller than average height, stands about 6'1". He has brown hair tied back at the nape of his neck with a hair tie, and a brown tricorn hat sits upon his head. His skin is not quite dark tan, more sun kissed, like somebody who's been out in the sun for a long, for working out in the sun for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Just a light stubble, like Tony said, a long brown leather duster that matches his hat, and a loose white shirt underneath. The two swords at his hip are tied with a deep red sash, and past that, just some off-white trousers and some long brown leather boots. Yeah, pretty average-looking fellow.
And Dagon says, now look, I was able to get the piece done a day early, so it's yours to take, but I will need the payment to hand it over.
What was the agreed upon price again? 400?
Aye, that's correct.
You wouldn't make it for 350, would you?
Look, man, I know my worth. I usually don't barter with people, and although your sob story is one that I've heard before, I just gotta run a business, man. Your materials were expensive to. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
A lot of people's ships get shattered apart by giants, do they?
On occasion, they do. The frost giants have been more active in the northern shores.
Oh well, can't blame a lad for trying, can you?
Mm.
Right, 400. It's all there. You can count it if you want.
He looks you up and down for a moment, Cole, as if trying to measure you in some way. He says, "Nay, if it's short, there are people that'll find you. I appreciate your business. Tell your friends if you enjoy the quality."
That would need one of them to still be alive, wouldn't it?
He kind of nods his head to the side as if, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he's just gonna fix it over his shrug off his duster and fit it over his shirt before shrugging it back on.
And I think at that point, you probably realize that standing there watching this interaction somewhat awkwardly are an elf and a dwarf. Kind of an odd pair to all three be in a shop with a human.
You're right there. Usually people have to pay for this sort of show.
Usually.
I'll give a freebie now and then.
I'm gonna look over at Cole and I'm gonna say, is he speaking some sort of common? Because I can't understand a word coming out of his mouth.
I believe it's some sort of dialect from pirates. I don't know. I don't really care.
Who said
I like you.
pirate? No pirates here. Just a guy
Well,
who
you
likes good
convinced.
fashion sense.
Yeah, well, you've convinced me. Are you heading anywhere, or are you just relaxing around the city?
I'm stuck on the ass end of the Sword Coast. It is Luskan, with no ship, no crew, and a bunch of large bastards who owe me more than a pound of flesh. So I've got no idea.
Well, um, luck with that. The taverns around here are quite expensive. One-eyed Jack's the priced one. So,
Oh, yeah. And
if
where
you're
would I
planning
find that
on
one?
lulling around here, well, I'm heading down right now. Feel free to come with me and my new elven friend as well.
It's the new elven friend that got a name. Oh, I've actually not given mine. I'm Cole.
Good to meet you, Cole. I'm cool.
That's a nicer reaction than I usually get.
I'm Bulwark.
Bulwark.
How do you spell your name, Joe?
Kuroe.
Kuro?
Yes.
Righty then. Funnily enough, not the oddest names I've come across.
Oh, well, I'll lead you all to it. Bulwark will just start walking. Did you say it's like one more day till the breastplate gets done? Or is it done now? I can't
I
remember.
think that at this point, this was probably your last day working on it.
Nice. I'll sort of grab it all up in a big burlap sack, and he'll start making his way to the One-Eyed Jack's.
Kuro and Cole, he leads you across town to a nicely presented two-story building. But as you enter inside, it is exclusively patronized by Drow. I don't know if Kuro and Cole have particular feelings about that.
Nah, Cole doesn't give a crap.
Yeah, Kuro doesn't has no real bother with him.
I mean, who's Cole to judge anybody on their life choices, let's be honest.
Bulwark, the barkeep, Serena, gives you a nod and a wave as you enter, but the rest of the bar grows somewhat quiet as the other two enter in.
How many people would you say are in the bar?
Somewhere in between 10 and 20 patrons.
I'll mosey on to the bar real quick, and I'll say, Serena, I do understand that I'm probably a little bit unwanted here, and wanted to, I will be leaving in the morrow. Wanted to leave a good impression. Would the rest of your friends here take kindly if I brought them around, or would that be a little bit patronizing?
She smiles. Her light purple eyes light up a bit, and she says, "Now, dear dwarf, I don't think anyone frowns upon free drink. Around for this lot, probably put you back 3 gold."
I'll hand her 6.
She jingles the coins betwixt her fingers, kind of doing a little little parlor trick, juggling between the joints. And she like slams her fist down on the bar table, and it catches everyone's attention. And she says, "All right, you lot, listen up. This fine specimen of a dwarf has just paid for 2 rounds. I expect you show him kindness as he leaves on the morrow. And if any of you stick fingers taken anything of his, I expect it returned by then." And there's a bit of cheering and a bit of laughing, and she sets to filling up glasses with wine.
You are an absolute delight. If you ever need anything, hunt me down and I'll come right back to this rather well-dressed shithole. Not the tavern, I mean the city. This place is pretty good compared to everything else.
She gives you a hearty laugh as she's pouring and slides a glass your way, and she says, "Oh, don't worry. If I do, well, we at One-Eyed Jacks know how to find people."
I'm going to bed now. Night
Don't
night.
suppose I'm included in that free drink, am I?
Were you in the bar when you made the deal?
I was right behind him, so I assume so.
Then yes. And she slides you a glass.
Right? Absolute win. Pleasure meeting you, dwarf.
And me, you.
Yeah, but it was. Free show and everything.
And I'm assuming you two will need rooms. It's going to be 2 gold for the night for both of you.
Righty.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna
sure.
hand over 2 gold.
She'll slide over a key to both of you as you exchange coin. Now, have a fair night.
And you too, miss.
As you head up to your rooms, what all transpires before we head to bed?
Well, I think as Bulwark returns, I'm sure to retrieve his stuff. Lou will hand him the full 1,000 gold and say, I can't help but feel somewhat guilty that it was sort of my hunt for my gold that ended up killing. And I think as he goes to say the names, his voice catches a little bit, and he just decides better and says, perhaps you can hold on to it for me, and if we need to pay for something, it could come from that.
I appreciate your trust, Blue. I think that will be good to stick out for each other, and we're gonna make sure that neither one of us goes away anytime soon. I've met 2 people who seem to have their heads tied on correctly. Maybe we can take them with us to the Underdark and chuck them some money for their time. Maybe like 50 gold each.
Who?
Well, one of them's a man and seems to be down on his luck. And the other one is a bit chatty and he's buying lots of weapons. Both of them don't seem very employable right now, and I think that they won't have very much bargaining power. And they seem to have a good chat as well. One of them I can't really understand very well.
I mean, we've nearly died several times when there were 4 of us, so it would be good to have reinforcements, I guess.
We'll talk to them in the morning. I'm gonna go snuggle Ava in our bed.
Okay, bye.
And I move over to the other end of the room and give Ava a hug. And I say, "You'll be happy, girl. We'll be going walking tomorrow." Walk? Walk?
She licks your face and gives a very happy bark.
Well, you've said it now. Now you have to take it.
That's fine. I'll go take her for a walk, and I'll hand you the big sack of money. Let's go take her for a walk.
Alone.
No, he's with Ava.
Yeah, no, nothing happens. You go out and walk your dog. There's a small park nearby.
Like a dog park.
No, not a dog park. Although there are mangy dogs around town that you probably catch sight of, and Ava barks them off.
Good girl. I gotta find where that drow got that red ball. That looked like a lot of fun.
Oh, I think you would have. I don't. I think that before he walked out, Ava would have kept it. So you probably have it.
Oh, so she's just got this ball now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love her. That's it for me.
Kuro or Cole, did either of you want to do anything?
I was making sure my room's secure. No.
Make an investigation check.
No, I meant more that nobody could push open the door and nick my stuff.
Ah, okay.
Well,
Yeah, no, you have a key and there is a lock.
anything I could move in the way just in case somebody knows how to pick a lock?
Yeah, there's a small dresser that you could move in front of the door. It wouldn't stand up to like someone kicking in the door, but
No.
yeah. So you're able to do that. So I think Blue, after Bulwark goes in for the night, you would hear the sound of wood scraping wood in the room next to you.
Interesting. There's no like holes in the wall that I can peek through to see what this person is doing.
Make an investigation check.
Okay.
I should hope not.
Nope, none that you can find.
He will ponder.
Just punch a hole through it sneakily.
Just see this massive furball fist come through the wall.
Don't mind me.
Did anyone else want to do anything before going to the next day?
Nope.
Okay. You would all get a long rest, wake up in the morning to a scene similar to the first. And as you pack your bags and head down into the main area, Blue, I think you would for the first time meet these two other figures.
I guess as Bulwark introduces himself, or introduces us, Blue will sort of, I don't know, he's not very much a handshakey guy. It's either a wave or a hug with him. So I think he gives you both a wave and a smile as he greets you and is introduced.
It's good to meet you.
You're a big one, ain't you?
Yes, my people are quite big, giant kin and all that.
Okay.
What was it? Sorry.
On a boat a few days back, would you?
We saw the boat. It was fired upon by that fancy tree-looking building.
The host tower of the Arcane. He says in giant.
Blue sort of looks a little surprised and says, "Yes." And you and I don't know. Maybe by this point he's heard you like speak to Blue. I don't know, to Bulwark in Dwarvish, and maybe heard you speak Elvish at some point to someone in the bar, and says, "You seem to be quite well versed on different languages."
Well, when you're studying multiple texts, it helps learning multiple languages.
Yes. What other languages do you know?
Ugh. Quite a few. I know the tongue of the fiend types. I know those the tongue of celestials. I can speak Draconic as well, and Sylvan.
And Blue would say in Sylvan, very impressive.
I mean, Sylvan was practically my third tongue, my third language.
Well, I think you have my 5 languages beat.
No clue what any of these guys are saying.
You do not beat my 10 tool proficiencies
Yeah,
and 4 languages. Well,
Tools are irrelevant, Bulwark.
who uses those?
No.
unless you two have anything better to do, me and my friend here are going to be heading down to a kingdom to pass on a letter as a diplomat. You two are welcome to come with us, and I'll chuck you a little bit of coin your way to make it worth it, if you two are a bit down on your luck.
How much coin are we talking?
50 gold?
50 gold.
Yep.
You can keep your coin. I was meaning to travel to the Underdog one of these days.
Yeah.
Right, 2 questions. 1, what the bleeding hell is the Underdark?
Well, it's a network of cave systems underneath the ground. There are
Right.
cities there, civilizations as vast and as important as the ones up top. It's common for people to neglect what goes on down there, but it is their folly.
Right then. I'll take your word for it. What was my second question again? Oh yeah. Will any of the frosty bastards be there?
Would Bullock have any idea of any giant activity in the Underdark? Could I make a history check?
Yes, it would be a history check. I think that Bulwark might have heard that there are fortresses of the fire giants in the Underdark. They are few and far between. There are lots of things in the Underdark that are foes, namely Lulthsworn, Drow, and Duargar. A few decades back, there was an incursion of demons that threatened to boil over onto the surface.
Nice.
I think there's something else that's like on the tip of my tongue. Fire giants, Drow, Duargar. Yeah, I think with a 14, that's what you get. Yeah.
I must say that. Yep, the fire giants. None of the frosty bastards, but other ones.
Giants are joined. I will be taking my payment up front though.
Sure. And I'll hand him 500 silver pieces.
You're taking the piss.
You're taking my silver.
You think I didn't notice that big patch of gold hanging at your waist?
It's all silver.
No, it's not.
Make a deception check. Cole, what's your passive insight?
Garbage.
All right, roll for insight. Not, nah. He seems to be carrying several pouches worth of silver coins.
All right, I'll believe you. I'll also call you an idiot.
I like to feel wealthy. Compliments are a bit too
And carrying around lots of very obvious bags of silver makes you feel wealthy.
much.
No chance your lot have been stolen from in the last few days, is there?
Not me personally.
Because if you walk around like that, that's bound to happen, especially in a shithole like Luskin.
Probably. But anyway. Oh, Blue. Blue, I want to show you something. So, Bulwark's plate armor has sort of been arranged around his backpack. And when he does some magical gestures, you notice that he's got like small runes put on like every joint and every connection. And as he speaks the command word, almost like when Iron Man steps into that suitcase under the armor, just like foams around him. It's the same thing sort of happens to Bulwark. And as he speaks the command word, all this armor just comes rushing like down his arms, down his torso, down his legs, and around his face to just completely encompass him in armor. I'm say, now they can try and take the coin pouches in between all this, and he'll bang his chest twice, and then he'll use a bonus action to make his face visible again.
And the helmet, the plates of the helmet kind of fall apart and into the neck.
Can I make a sleight of hand check to see if I can take one of the pouches just because he said that? Not just to
Sure.
keep it, just to throw it up in the air right in front of him.
Well, so his coin purse is kept on his belt on his underclothes. So you can attempt a sleight of hand check, but I think it'd be pretty difficult to get into the plates. I don't think necessarily disadvantage, just the DC is fairly high.
Right. Wow, that's bad. I've got +6.
Yeah, you try to get up to his side and find a place where your hand can slip in between the plates on his waist, but it seems pretty solid.
You know what? Not bad.
All right. Oh, let's get going.
Blue will look very impressed, but also very confused.
Don't forget to update your AC on your Roll20 display name for me. It'll work.
For everyone in chat, we 22 now.
All right. As you guys open the door to leave out of the One-Eyed Jacks, it is abysmal. A wave of heat presses up against and flows into the room. Only second, disturbingly, not. I'm tripping over my words. The heat is not necessarily what disturbs you. There is a heavy downpour of rain. That coupled to the heat, with the heat creates such an overwhelming humidity. It nearly makes you gag from the differential of having been inside the room or the bar, rather.
Not the best weather. I'll cast Druidcraft to see if there's going to be a storm or something later.
So as you cast the spell and the weather begins to form into your hand, a small rain cloud forms, and your hand is nearly immediately drenched, and the liquid that forms in your hand is disgustingly warm.
Yeah, we should get out of this. Let's start traveling. Let's leave.
Right. Makes sense, I suppose. Encountered a storm on the seas a few days back. Must have made his way inland.
Where are you from?
Here, there, and everywhere.
Me too. I'm sure you have many tales to share. I'd love to hear them when we're traveling.
I mean, what's there to tell? Spend most of my life on a boat.
But you've been to places, and I'm sure you've docked.
Oh, that...
Hello?
Yeah? Can you not hear me?
You cut out very early. I'm not sure if you just didn't say much.
No, all I said was, aye, that I have.
Okay. Blue will take the short response as a hint and sort of go quiet a little bit.
Just not much interesting, to be honest.
Well, we can talk all about not much interest in our lovely character.
I'm sorry, Bulwark, you've cut out twice during that sentence.
I said, we can talk about these sweet nothings in our carriage. Hopefully, Ration and Carnage are doing just fine.
Ration and Carnage.
Yep.
Alright then.
Our horses.
Well, I assumed. I didn't think you just had two men that you named Ration and Carnage, reckon it. He will have a shit-eating grin on his face when he says this.
I genuinely didn't understand what you said.
I didn't expect you to have two men called Ration and Carnage dragging it.
Yeah, we just have two halflings that drag a cart around.
Character building.
As you walk around the one-eyed jacks into the stables, indeed, there your horses are with your carriage. As you pull out of the city, I have learned that Roll20 supports hex maps. Based on the rules of travel, you can travel one hex per day. Whoever is navigating is going to need to make a survival check in order to stay on course. And if you succeed the survival check, you get to choose which hex you move on. If you don't, I take your token off the map, put it on the GM layer, and you are lost.
I'm awful with survival, but I do have proficiency in navigator's tools.
So navigation, the navigator's tools specifically are for ocean travel or for water travel. You'd be looking for land vehicles
Yeah, and just water vehicles for me.
or cartographer's tools.
Unless any of our new friends are adept at survival, I guess Blue will continue to take on that role.
All right. I will say, well, let me ask this. In which direction are you anticipating traveling?
Well, just looking at the map, I think it would be easiest if we travel down this road and then turn off into the forest.
All right. Do you have any plans for... Oh, go ahead.
Do we get advantage because we're traveling on the well-traveled roads?
So I think if you're traveling on the road, you would not get lost. I think it's going to be pretty easy to succeed those checks while traveling on the road. So I don't think even while traveling, I don't think while traveling on the road you would get lost. I was more preparing for when you start to travel into the forest in the Underdark.
Sweet.
What is your plan for the cart and the horses?
Yeah, we can't exactly take them into the Underdark, I imagine.
There has to be some sort of like haberdashery or roadside inn about a day's walk out of this city. Or 2 days walk out of the city somewhere along the line. We'll probably just leave it there for a few days and come back for them.
If that exists.
I'm sure that there would have to be like, as people would walk this journey from here to Neverwinter, or at least there would be other settlements along here that we can talk to people. I doubt it's just a road and that's it. Or would that be the case, DM?
I'm sorry, I was looking at why my two maps aren't lining up correctly. What was the question?
There, it's not the case where it's just a road. There would be like truck stops, the equivalent of along the path, right? Like haberdasheries or stables or inns for people walking the journey.
That is a good question.
Because I know historically that there would be like a town every day's walk in between places, so that people would like hopscotch from big towns to the small towns via the little ones.
Make a history check.
Can I make some kind of check to see if there's a port anywhere between here and Neverwinter?
Yeah, make a history check.
Right. Yeah, that makes about as much sense.
So Bulwark. About 50 miles north of Neverwinter, there is indeed a port that you would know about. It's not a large settlement by any means, so around the area of what you're talking about. It's called Port Last, spelled with two L's. Um, it has been at several points had a very violent history. Pirates, evil cults, burned down, overrun by Sahuagin, even raided by Drow. Um, not a very fortunate, uh, not a very fortunate history.
I relay that information to the party.
So it's a little bit more than halfway to Neverwinter.
There's no way you could talk to our horses, Blue, and tell them to just stay put.
I mean, I think they like us and they're friendly enough, so they might do so. But I would be more concerned about predators in the forest.
True.
Or people listening to horses and want to make a quick buck.
Yes.
Well, I guess we can just leave them in the port and give them some money to take care of it all. I'm sure there has to be one decent person there.
It's a little bit it's a little bit further than the entrance to the Underdark, so perhaps we could just go all the way to Neverwinter, then work our way back up. If we're going to go that far, we may as well visit Neverwinter. And it was in Neverwinter that we were going to find a captain of a ship, and it was in Waterdeep that we were going to talk to a noble family. I'm pretty sure.
I thought both of them were.
Both of those were in Waterdeep. The request that you had received to go to Neverwinter was from Sir Beric Nylef, and that was to report to his superior.
Perfect.
How quick do you need to be at the Underdark? Whatever the hell it's called.
I'm not sure. He said it was. We had supposed to deliver a letter, and he said it was a letter of warning and a gift.
And making them wait whilst we trek to Neverwinter and you do a task there probably isn't the smartest move.
What was that, sorry?
Trekking all the way to Neverwinter and making this wait whilst you go do whatever task you got there probably isn't the smartest move.
Well, I don't see a better opportunity. I think the best thing we can do is just leave our horses here with our friends in the One-Eyed Jacks. Go down to the Underdark, come back up, and then take the cart down. I don't see a point in going all the way down and all the way back up. The walk is quicker from here to the city than it is from Neverwinter to the city.
You said we move 1 hex per day. Is that affected by having horses, or no? Not really.
I think over a long time it would. I think with the horses you would travel 1.5 hexes a day, if that makes sense. That's just kind of hard to represent on a map.
All right. Okay, yeah, I don't mind leaving the horses here for now. Perhaps we can give them just a bit of gold to hold them for a certain period of time, and if we need them, we can come back.
Yeah, I'll chuck our drow friend. How much gold does she want just to house them? Because we've got enough food.
I think that stabling, there's a little chart here. I think it costs 2 silver per day per horse, so with the carriage, she would probably ask for a gold a day.
Gold a day, okay. And it's a 2-day trek there, 3-day trek. I will hand her 10 gold, and I will say that.
Well, keep in mind it's a 3-day trek to the entrance to the Underdark, and then if you're lucky, another day to Gauntlegrim, according to Jarl Axel's pointing out on your map.
I will give her 15 gold then, and I will just say that if we run over time, we will come back and pay for it. We're definitely not leaving our horses here.
I understand, and if you come back before your allotted time, I'll make sure to refund you the difference.
Perfect.
Be safe.
Let's get walking.
All right. So we'll say that you probably came to that conclusion before you left the inn. Looking back on some things, Blue, are you still going to be the one navigating the party?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything that anyone else would want to do as far as foraging, tracking, map making, and or any other task?
No.
Okay.
No.
The same person navigating is all. It cannot be the same person who's watching out for danger. Blue, since you're the one who's leading the way, your passive perception does not contribute to the chance of noticing threats. So if someone would like to take the lead on noticing threats, is there one particular person who wants to do that?
I'll do that.
Okay. And at what pace would you like to travel? Slow, normal, or fast? Keep in mind, because of the heavy rain that's happening today, your perception checks are at disadvantage, and your passive perception has a -5 penalty.
Regular pace.
Okay.
Perhaps we should go a little bit slowly while this rain continues.
I trust your opinion, Blue Man.
All right. So, Blue, let me have you make a survival check, and Cole, or is it Cole or was it Kuro?
Kuro.
Kuro, let me have you make a perception check.
Damn.
If we're just traveling down to this hex, do I need to make a?
Oh no, if you're just traveling down the road, you're good. Yep. Boom. Done. The day goes by without issue, although Kuro, I think you get distracted by. Oh, go ahead.
Can I give him advantage with that since I'm proficient in perception?
You can, yes. Well, it would have worked out to have been a straight roll.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because of the rain.
And I think we were going slowly, so already has advantage. Is that right?
No, it just allows you the ability to have a possible stealth check. Going fast, I think, is where you start incurring a penalty for moving.
Okay.
I can double check real quick.
We've got another day's travel south, and you have to venture through the forest east. Easy peasy.
You don't quite travel the full hex, but you do make your way down and bed for the night. Anyone have tents by chance?
I have a 4-person tent.
Nice. So yeah, you're able to find shelter on the side of the road away from the elements, and for the most part, stay dry. Is there any change to how you guys want to tackle the next day? The rain does let up a bit. It no longer is affecting your perception scores. However, it is still unseasonably warm and raining a bit.
Does Blue, having traveled a lot, maybe probably not through this area too often, would he have any idea what's causing this sort of phenomenon?
You can make a nature check. Not at all.
Like I said,
Maybe the strange magic that was affecting the seasons up in Icewind Dale is starting to spread.
Also, Blue would want to ask at some point, I think Cole, and say, I haven't really traveled on the seas before. What's your favorite thing about it?
oh, definitely the freedom. I've spent the better part of the last, what is it now? 16 years on the ocean. And you do what you want, you go where you want, you meet who you want. Nothing to stop you, no guards or whatever. It's fantastic, honestly. I definitely recommend you try it someday.
Well, one mission we've been on, if you could call it that, was to meet a captain down in Waterdeep. So maybe I will be able to try it sooner rather than later.
Captain, you say? You know his name?
Blue does. I do not. I can't remember. Let me try and.
It was a woman, I believe.
You know
Yes,
her
it
name?
was.
My apologies.
I don't think I'm going to find it. So unless you know it off by hand, Tony, I think Blue has forgotten.
I remember that she was Duvessa Shane's aunt, but I do
Yeah.
not remember off the top of my head what her name is because Waterdeep is way down there, and I have not prepped Waterdeep.
Yeah. Blue will say, there was a lady in.
You have a
Waterdeep
letter.
called Duvessa Shane, and her aunt is the captain. I can't remember her name. Where's the letter?
Like you have a letter of recommendation from Duvessa Shane. I don't think it wasn't a handout or anything like that.
Oh, okay.
It would just be in someone's inventory.
Shane. Oh, have I robbed a Shane?
And we also have a letter of recommendation for the Adventurers Guild there by Zilrome Roaringhorn.
Not a guild, but he seems to sponsor adventurers.
Yeah, he was the one that was part of the noble family, right?
Yes, and her name is Enerva Coldwater,
Ah, yes.
and her ship
That's
is the
the captain.
yep, and her ship is the Dancing Wave.
Have I robbed the dancing wave?
Have you robbed the Dancing Wave? Not recently.
Oh, well. Yeah, remember the ship. Pretty vessel. Good amount of coin on there, too.
And are you interested in buying another ship?
Oh, don't know if I could replace my last one so soon.
How much does a ship cost? I'm not very familiar with these things.
Wouldn't know. Worked on the ship as a lad. Got the ship as an adult.
Oh.
But yeah, hopefully she doesn't remember my face. It's been a while.
Oh, well, you know what? This is a perfect time for us to take a break, I think.
Okie doke. See you guys in a bit.
Bye-bye.
About 5 minutes.
Hey, Tony, you aren't muted. Tony. Tony.
fun to experience. I'm recently experiencing one based on tarot decks, which I'm playing through now, which was invented by a old member, maybe I want to say 8 years ago, and somebody runs a game based on her system every year, which is great.
That does sound pretty cool.
It's a great time, honestly. It is. What else? Call of Cthulhu, which is my favorite system of all time.
Also, I think we are on stream again because.
Oh, we are. Yes. Hello, anybody who's watching. I don't know. I don't have the Twitch up.
Yes. I guess we can continue talking about tabletops.
Yeah, I mean, Blood Bowl. That's always a giggle.
A tabletop I've always wanted to play is one called Land of Ugg, where you play as cavemen. And my favorite thing about the system is that everyone has a limited amount of words that they know, and you have to communicate through like hand gestures and grunting. It's like you may only know your name, or you may only know the word fire.
I don't
But
think
you
we've ever had a
learn
game
how-
run like that. Let's see here.
And besides that, it's like a regular RPG with a simplified rule set.
But yeah. Fate derived systems, of course. Oh, there was actually a guy who made a homebrew based on the Shin Megami Tensei franchise. Which is interesting. Yeah, everything that doesn't fall into strategy. What is it called? Strategy games and war games, because that's run by the Wargaming Society, and those guys suck. Past that, we pretty much do everything.
Are there any good war games besides Warhammer? Because I do want to. I wanted to play Warhammer, but it's so expensive.
Absolutely tons. Yeah, I'm not as familiar with them, but there are a lot of them. Warhammer is of course the best known one, and honestly, it runs really well if you have the money to keep the hobby up. I haven't played Warhammer, I want to say, for maybe 4 years now. After my Space Wolf Lord on riding Thunderwolf figure, which I just finished painting, was smashed by my dog, who opened my bedroom door and charged in and sent it flying, smashed it into little pieces. Haven't played it since.
The funny thing is that the model was probably more expensive than the dog.
I mean, no, it was a pure white Alsatian, so no.
Can I see a photo of it? I don't know what that is.
Pure white German Shepherd.
Oh God! Wow.
And both of his parents suffered from giganticism, so he was my height on his hind legs.
Wow. I can't believe you could reach up to 4'5".
I'm 5'11".
I didn't say that it couldn't go higher than that. But now I know your height. I'm one step closer to finding out your identity.
I've given you my name.
Yeah, but I forgot it.
Oh, that's your fault.
It was pretty long.
It is a long name.
It's like Kian Richard Lionheart the Third of the Punanega Dynasty. I don't know.
Actually, it's Kian Richard Lonmouth Windsor.
No, also, I mean, I presumed you wouldn't say that on stream. I want to use this spell because this letter and delivering it to Gauntlgrim is kind of making me anxious. So I'm thinking about casting Augury before we go in. It has to be like something that happens within the next 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'll cast that like before we deliver the letter to see if it's actually going to be good or bad.
I can tell you now, if you cast it going into the Underdark, I can already tell you the result. Because there's no wheel in the Underdark.
Does anyone here have mending?
No.
I don't.
Don't cast spells.
As I'm looking through my thing to see if there's anything that can help me out by doing it, but I don't think there is.
I'm just a humble not pirate.
I could do Skywrite.
Oh, I forgot we had a Mutants and Masterminds game running this term. Damn, I missed out on that one.
I mean, I can, at a long rest, swap out one of my current cantrips for it.
I think that would be a good idea because we can open it up, have a read of it, just to make
Yes,
sure.
because this guy definitely doesn't seem like the kind of guy who knows everything that's going to happen.
Wait, I mean, he says it's a warning and a gift, so maybe I don't know. I feel like it's a C-3PO situation.
Personally, I
we
wouldn't
are their
open it.
gift.
Personally, I wouldn't open it. But
Well, me and our friend.
the guy had a boomstick, for Christ's sake.
I don't know what that was. Thought it was a flashlight. Me and Kuro can have a read of it, and you guys can be none the wiser. How do you swap your cantrips out on a long rest?
From Tasha's cantrip formula. It's a 3rd level wizard feature.
Oh, okay. You're a wizard.
Did you just figure that out?
Well, I don't
Did
know.
the 9 languages not give it away?
I don't know. Maybe it could have been
I
like.
got 4 of them from my intelligence modifier because of the homebrew rule.
Well, then I should know another language. Yeah,
Which is a very good rule, by the way.
Or tool.
No, I know 3 tool proficiencies and 2 languages. That's enough for me.
Don't want to know too much because then it'll start being a burden.
He's not a very smart man. He's also not very perceptive because he doesn't need to be. He had a guy to do that for him. So I think he's running a.
Yeah, I think if you can get mending, I think it might be worth opening leather. Maybe, I don't know. We cast detect magic on it. Doesn't need to have like any magical traps on it.
Maybe it's trapped and it's gonna kill the king. Who knows? And then by opening it, it instead kills us. Yay!
Well, there's nothing magical in it, and I can have a good feel through it because it's made of paper, and I can't imagine there'd be any mechanisms to be able to hide in it.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just being paranoid.
I mean, I could also cast Identify to double check anything.
Okay, Tony asked us to please stall. Instead, we're just talking absolute shite. Does anybody actually have access to the Twitch chat?
Can't get access yet.
Open it up, see what's happening.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like much is happening.
Well, if that's something. Don't like the idea of ignoring people.
We have 2 viewers right now.
Well, hey.
Oh, awesome. So, for our 2 viewers, we've been given a letter by a drow who wants us to deliver it to a king. He told us not to open the letter. That's my mum in the background.
Yes, he told us not to open the letter, and 3 of our party want to now open the letter.
I mean, I don't want to. I don't think I know the letter. Actually, no, we have talked about the letter.
We have talked about the letter.
And we want to open up the letter because we don't want to. Bulwark wants to open up the letter because not that he doesn't trust Drow, he just doesn't trust anyone in general. And wants to make sure he's not giving this king like a big "hey, eat my ass" or something, you know.
Yeah, I definitely know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon we open it. What could really go wrong, especially if we have mending? Like, we can make it look as if it was never opened. It's fine.
And I'll probably just like give it like a feel through to see if there's any like mechanisms or anything.
Wait,
that can-
unless there's no, it was sealed. Could you could you reattach the seal with mending? Is that something you could do?
No.
No, what we can do is we can cut the actual paper of it on the bottom and then pull
Yeah.
the letter out and then mend because it can repair cuts or something. I think, but we have to have a look at the spell.
Small
Would-
repairs in a single break or turn an object you touch, such as the broken chain link, two halves of broken key, a torn cloak, or a leaking wineskin.
Wineskin,
Perfect.
yes.
Yeah. As long as the
However,
break or tear is no larger than 1 foot in any dimension.
however, there's one thing you guys might not have thought about. What if he's got people watching us?
We'll do it inside of the
Highly
tent.
possible.
Yeah, can you see through this tent? This tent is magically warded against scrying and other such effects.
And that's his constant. He's just like he's inside the letter. And we open it up. He's like, "Hello there, traveler."
I knew you'd do it.
I know you do this.
Why do you think I lured you in with the fake eye patch?
And gave you 1,000 coins.
All in
Yeah.
silver, apparently.
Just saying, my passive insight is high enough to detect that was a lie.
Well, I don't want to let you know that I've got literally a king's ransom in my fucking pocket.
Cole has been nothing but pleasant to you.
I mean, you've seen no such backpack or pockets on Curios, except from like a small bag on his, just under his short sword.
What about Cole makes you think that perhaps he would steal it?
Nothing. Like I said before, Bulwark is skeptical of everyone. One of his character traits is
Bar the fact that he
I'm
literally said before we broke for the break that he's not robbed from that person in a while.
I am skeptical and assume everyone is trying to get the best of me.
I mean, you don't know Cole's a pirate. He could be a sailor, dressed like a
Or-
pirate.
Unless you two are a plant by the drow, and Tony's playing the long game.
Actually, Arrakis in a skin suit.
Oh, hello, people.
There's
We've
people.
just been raided by the Nat 19 crew.
Oh my
Hello,
god!
everyone.
Who
Hi.
now?
That is what is this? 107 people.
Oh my fucking god! I wish
Hello.
that Tony was here to witness this.
Yeah.
Hi everyone. We're
It's all
waiting
the
for our
people.
DM to come back.
Yeah, our DM is on
We are-
call for his work and he's away.
Yes.
Thank you so much. This is amazing. Oh my god, 136. This is so fucking
This is
good.
impressive.
Yes, these are. Oh, I got the notification. My heart broke.
Oh my god.
All right, I'm back. I hear
Have
people.
a look at Joe's views. Have a look at Joe's views.
I don't know how to look at Joe's views.
Go. You can just go to my channel.
I
Oh.
posted the link in chat. We've been raided.
I'm excited. We've been raided.
Oh,
By who?
56
the
and
Nat
Krieg,
19
which
crew.
are
Oh. I'm not gonna do it because apparently it messes with my sound when I see other people's things.
Yeah.
But that's awesome. I think I heard 136. Hi everyone.
Yeah. Oh,
I would answer your questions, but I don't have the chat on mine.
I have the chat over here on my
They
side.
just said that
Awesome.
Lord Doula is live.
Yeah, I'm well known over there.
Are you?
Yes.
Well,
Just
awesome.
well known in several places.
Well, I just have to finish this text and then we'll get back into it.
Yeah.
I feel like we're doing like the charge and what the fuck, Lord of the Rings when they're
Lord-
defending that.
Lord Doula, Joe.
Shut up. Oh,
Oh, we are talking about that.
no, we're not.
What
Oh,
does
we
Doula?
You said you
definitely are,
posted the link in the chat.
Oh,
Doula is very well known, isn't he?
I don't know who Dueler is. Who's Dueler?
Joe.
me.
I mean,
Oh.
I can't believe I can't believe we've never heard about this, Joe.
I've kept it very quiet from everybody except from family, possibly.
Oh my god, what is this? Be right back. Where's the chat?
Uh,
This isn't it.
Count Dula. Wow. Oh God. You know
Oh.
Kane's hearing about this.
oh God. Oh, my face.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Oh.
Anyway, we're back. We're playing D&D.
I might
Here we
turn off,
go.
like, my notifications.
I recommend, for those of you that are watching, if you want to know exactly when we go live, to subscribe to me, a Rainbow Dude, on Twitch. I've also set up a Twitter for the show, or at least my channel. That is at a Rainbow Dude. So excited, right? I was sitting here thinking we got 2 people watching, Mr. Dart Fidget, Mr. Extra More. We appreciate you, but that makes my heart feel good, y'all. To get Southern on you.
Not to be all Southern, but
Right?
I'm not shady, guys. I just never talk about anything in public.
Friends for almost a decade.
I know.
I've not heard a peep about this.
So yeah, Joe is Joe is streaming for us because he believes it would be a good idea that, not everyone wants to see the DM screen and all the notes and stuff, which is great. If you are interested in seeing some of what I do behind the screen, come to my channel. All right, where were we? I am actually a little frazzled. Where exactly did we leave off?
With me stating that I don't think I've robbed that person in a while.
Yes, that's right.
And we have also had a discussion. We've decided that Joe is going to swap out to mending, and we're going to try and open up that letter and have a look through it.
I see.
Mutual decision.
Before we do that, I will cast Augury to see if it's going to have good or bad results.
Do you have the component for augury?
I've cast it before, and we said that my amulet constituted.
Oh, is that? Yes. I didn't know if it was a consumed thing. I don't know it off the top of my head. Boop.
Yeah.
All right. What does augury do exactly? Let's see here. You cast out some stuff. I do remember saying that your holy symbol counted for this. Let's see. You ask and you receive an omen from an otherworldly entity about the results of a specific course of action you plan to take within the next 30 minutes. All right, what is your question, Blue?
If we open this letter and use mending to make sure that no one kind of can see that we have opened it, will it still have bad or good results? Like what results will this action have?
All right, so here's how I like to think that this plays out. You stop the cart for a moment when you hear them talking about wanting to open up the letter, and you're like, hold up, guys. Gotta consult with Big S. That's not how Blue talks, but you place the letter down and place your holy symbol on top of it. And this kind of silvery orb appears above your holy symbol as you channel the magic through. And the moon or the silvery orb that appears above when you ask your question begins to crack and falls apart and thuds onto the floor, and then disappears.
So I'm interpreting that as woe.
Yes, that would be an accurate interpretation.
Do not open that letter.
I did state that should. I did say that.
I can't tell you what's going to happen, but I can tell you that it's going to be bad.
Mm.
Makes sense.
Then I guess we don't touch it.
You said you got it from a rich dude in a snazzy hat. They're always evil.
Yeah, I trust you, Blue.
You seem like a rich dude with a snazzy hat.
Well, I'm not rich anymore.
Yeah, he's poor, so he's trusting.
He just bought 400 gold breastplate.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
The rest of it was sunk in the ship. That's only me pocket change.
So you.
Either way, I'm guessing we're not opening the letter, so are we just gonna hand deliver it then and then get off on our way?
Yeah, hopefully we can get out of there before he opens it.
Well, before we enter Gauntlgrim and deliver the letter, I will cast my spell again and see if it's gonna fuck us over or not, or screw us over.
All right, language
Yeah.
blue.
This be a PG-13.
Oh God, is Arrakis
Nah,
back from
nah.
the grave?
Oh, please, that was a much better voice than Arrakis could do.
No, Arrakis is was bad on purpose.
Get fucking wrecked, yeah. Well, let's just keep on walking to Gauntlgrim.
All right. At this point in your journey, are you diverging from the road and heading through the forest, or are you going to continue down the road for another day?
I think we'll continue down to this hex and then turn directly sort of this way.
All right. Are you still traveling slowly, or are you going to travel at a regular or fast pace?
If the rain has eased up, then Blue will suggest that we travel at a regular pace.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, regular base would be best.
All right. Yeah. So other than the rain, it's a rather boring day, right? You're getting pretty drenched because you don't have the cart. Yeah. Oop, there we go. You're not technically completely on that hex, but you know, simplicity's sake. Feels 1, 2. Yep. Okay.
We do have a question, Tony.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody asking, what module is this from Joe's chat?
So, to pause for a second, because I know this might be some of your first times watching, that we are running through Storm King's Thunder, but we're more using that for a framework because there's lots of things that happen in the Sword Coast, and Sword King's Thunder is very big, and you spend a lot of time in Chapter 3, you know. It's a very large sandbox, and prior to the stream, we pulled a little bit from Icewind Dale. There have been references to things happening from Out of the Abyss. At this point in the game, Tyranny of Dragons has already happened. So, for example, like if for some reason the party decided to go to Chult, we would probably have some content from Tomb of Annihilation in there. It just kind of depends on how things go. I really like the Forgotten Realms. I really like the Sword Coast. There's a lot of material and lore to draw on. So yeah, good question. If you would like, we did stream last week. That is on my channel because we didn't have the secondary stream up at the time. And once we get done with this episode today, I plan on putting last week's episode up on my YouTube channel, which will be, again, a Rainbow Dude on YouTube. Continuing on with the game, though. As you guys bed down for the night, I need to find a note. Boom.
Are we gonna set up a watch order?
Are you going to set up a watch order? That's a good question.
I'll be honest, never been too good at the old watching thing.
I'll go last.
I'll go first.
I can take two of them, so I could go either first, second, or third, fourth.
I mean, I'll stay with you for one of them. I'm just saying, my eyesight, not the best.
That's okay. If Cure is happy to take 2 watches, and Blue not being too familiar with elves will probably look a little bit confused, we'll say, well then perhaps you could take first and second watch, and I will take the third.
That's fine with me.
Oh, that's not what I wanted.
Oh.
Yeah, pretend you don't see that.
Infected
No.
creature.
Yeah, pretend you don't see that, y'all. Still working out how to. So that's annoying. That's actually annoying that. So I set up that thing to put into chat as a whisper, and half of it is in the whisper. So I guess when the text is so long, it splits into half whisper, half not, and that's really annoying. And I hope Roll20 fixes that at some point. Anyway.
The character limit on a whisper.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, ignore that. As far as the watch goes, again, you seem to find the fortune of having a spot on the road or off the road that does not attract attention from man or beast alike. However, Blue and Bulwark, you find yourselves waking up in the middle of the night to cramping and fatigue. And when the long rest is finished, I guess make a Constitution saving throw. I will say that the DC is not 11 because I changed it when I wrote the sewer adventure.
Is this perhaps an effect against being poisoned?
It is not. It is an effect against disease.
Quick thing, can I cast Mage Armor right before I go to sleep with extended spell?
You can, yeah.
That'll last for
What was that?
16 hours.
What was that bing noise? What was that? That was a follower. Hi, Hydro Troll. That was cool. You can tell that I'm new to Twitch because I am not used to all of the noises that come from it.
I muted mine for a second. Put me back on. There we go.
Okay. So Blue and Bulwark, when you both wake up from the morning, you have these horrid cramps forming in your stomach. And you do have 1 point of exhaustion, but you do not suffer any additional effects from the disease at this point. I would say at this point you've realized that your time. Oh, go ahead, Blue. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was about to ask. I mean, we've been in some sewers, and we're clearly not feeling well.
I think it's a pretty logical assumption. Yeah. You can make a medicine check to get more than that.
Okay, I will do so.
What I want to. Okay, so with a 21, yes, Blue, you believe that with the symptoms and your recent ventures into the sewers of Luskin, that you have contracted what's known as sewer plague. The effects of this are feeling fatigued, cramping. It is a rather deadly and rapidly progressing disease, in that after a certain number of days, some people just drop dead from exhaustion. Some of the mechanical implications are that you only regain half the normal of hit points from spending hit dice and gain no hit points from finishing a long rest. And then, of course, what else you would see in the chat.
I'm gonna cast 2 lesser restorations and get rid of that.
All right.
We're not gonna contract that from being near you, are we?
I hope not, and if you do, I'll heal you.
Oh, wonderful.
And then I'll also use my amulet as well as and use it to harness divine power to get one of those slots back.
All right. So after you touch yourself or let the magic flow through you, that sounded odd. After you let Salune's divine magic flow through you and harness your power as a cleric to cure those diseases, you're able to truck through the day much better. And you imagine that had you not had the ability to cure this disease, that traveling would have been absolutely dreadful. Proceeding on, I believe you're entering through the forest today, right?
Yes.
Right. Is Blue still going to be the one who manages the navigation portion?
Indeed. Does anyone? We have 2 new characters. Is anyone proficient in survival?
No,
I spent almost my entire life on the ocean. What do you think?
Yes.
Not when it comes to trees.
The advantage dream.
Did anyone want to? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bulwark.
Well, if we put you in a bucket, does that help? And fill it full with water, like up to your ankles.
Aye, I'm actually Davy Jones.
Anyway,
Yep, I guess I'll make my survival check.
Please. And while Blue is navigating, does anyone want to forage or keep an eye out for threats?
I'll keep an eye out.
I'll give it a go.
All right. So who's gonna do what?
Ava, keep an eye out for threats.
All right. So if you're keeping an eye out for threats, go ahead and make perception checks.
Where is Ava's character sheet? I can no longer see her.
I do not know.
My perception skill is so bad. Okay.
I found her under Misc Creatures.
Yes. Okay. So as far as keeping out for threats,
Hey. Ava got a nat 20.
nice. You are very vigilant, the three of you, and you do not sense any threats. And your first trip into the forays of the jungle, not the jungle, the Neverwinter Wood, seem rather peaceful. The traveling bit, though, yeah. So, Blue, you are able to align with points of reference, keeping Mount Hotno in the distance in that southeastern direction, using that as a marker for your travels. You do travel into that next hex. It's not immediately apparent where that entrance into the Underdark is, though. That would probably need to be a venture for the next day.
Okay. Blue, as we sort of travel through this forest, seems very happy to be back in sort of a more comfortable environment.
Cole, on the other hand, is having the adverse reaction.
I think also at some point during this travel, Blue would approach Curio and ask, you seem to be the scholarly type, a wizard, I presume, based on what you said. What kind of magic do you study?
I studied illusion magic. I've always found it more, what's the word? It's appealing, really. I've never had an eye for evocation, transmutation. Even though I do know some of the magics from those types, I guess. I've always preferred, you know, the imagery.
What kind of illusions can you make?
He'll quickly make a motion and he'll cast minor illusion to make a small little wind up doll just appear right in front of them, and it'll start making a. Do you know those monkeys with the symbols? He
Yeah.
an image that, and it starts making sound as well.
What on
Blue
that thing?
Amazing.
Very impressed.
Is it a demon?
It's just a toy, really.
It's not even a toy, and Blue will like wave his hand through it.
Yeah, Jesus. It's a ghost.
It's a monkey. Monkey.
Then
It's a ghost monkey.
Kurill's gonna snap his fingers, and the symbol monkey will transform into a crow and start cawing as well. It's just sitting in the air, not moving.
Very cool.
And then
I can make one of those too, and Blue will also summon a crow.
What the?
Except this one is real, and it will go and sit on Cole's shoulder.
I am distinctly uncomfortable with everything that's happening here.
Would you prefer a parrot?
Oi. That is a stereotype, and it's vicious.
So you're telling me there were no parrots on your ship?
There were no parrots. They're annoying.
Fair enough.
Blue, as you have this conversation, you step down and you hear a crunching noise. And you see that you have unknowingly stepped onto what appears to be a portion of a rather large nest. And you look, and when I say rather large, I mean in the neighborhood of about a 10-foot diameter nest made of various twigs and detritus. There are 3 large eggs in the center of said nest. And there is a creature behind those eggs that does not appear to have noticed you. It is balled up next to them, and at a glance, it seems to be about 7 to 8 feet long and covered in these large gray feathers.
7 to 8 feet long. Okay, that's a big bird. So it hasn't noticed us.
It hasn't. Your survival check was high enough to get you where you wanted to go, but it appears there's been a complication.
I see. Yeah, I guess Blue will sort of try to hush everyone with sort of a hushing gesture, and try to back away.
Let me get.
Can I make a nature check to see what type of bird it is?
Sure.
We have someone that's good at nature.
There is no bird that you know of that matches the description of this creature. In addition to that nature check, let me get everyone to roll a stealth check. And Bulwark, I believe you have disadvantage, and I think that Cole, does your breastplate give you disadvantage?
Nope. It's
Okay.
and I've got medium animal master anyway.
No.
Wait, what just happened?
Oh, you rolled 2d20 KL1. I don't know what that is.
I tried to roll with a disadvantage on D&D Beyond, but I think.
I think that's what messed it up then. Yeah.
Yeah. With medium armor master, it doesn't affect me at all. Tony.
Okay. So you are backing up, Blue, to attempt to go around this rather large nest. When Bulwark, you hit your head on a branch, and it makes a resounding metal ringing. And Blue and Bulwark, well, perhaps not Bulwark, as you're dealing with your head. Blue and Kuro, you stop, freeze for a moment, as the creature begins to stir, and out of this mass of feathers pokes out an owl's head. And it sees you, or rather, it sees Bulwark, is aware of his presence. And like its head tilts at about a 90-degree angle, and it begins to get up. And as it does, it stands nearly a complete 7 to 8 feet off the ground. In Blue, I think you would have experience with these. You recognize very quickly that this is an owl bear.
Oh no.
Oh no.
And it lets out a massive roar, almost what's the word, not asynchronous, that has to do with time, but like almost dysmorphic to its owl-like body. Roll initiative for me.
As we do that, if I recognize this owlbear, do I know anything about owlbears that immediately comes to mind?
So they are ferocious predators, very territorial, are carnivores.
Yeah.
What do we do about tokens?
I am dragging you over to here now.
Wonderful.
Before like you said it was an owlbear, I was like, oh, I could just like try and calm it with some good berries. It'll be fine.
Let's see, Bulwark there, Blue there. I think I said
Initiative.
10-foot diameter nest. I think I probably meant 10-foot radius.
Yeah, that would make a bit more sense.
Yeah.
A common blunder.
I thought we were about to be attacked by a rock.
5, 10, 15, 20. 5, 10, 15, 20. There we go. I don't know what that is. Get that out of here.
I believe that's Jack.
Be gone, Jack.
Is an owl bear.
All right. Owl bear. The rest of you put your tokens on the board for me, somewhere in this left side area. Initiative. Boop, boop. Oh, that's so sad. And
The owlbear
then,
initiative is not whispering, by the way.
yes. And then 1d4. Boop. Yeah, the thing about Roll20 is that the monster tokens are not always auto set to whispering, so some things come out before I'm ready. All right. Initiative has been rolled. I think blue probably would have been the first one. So, Kuro, maybe you are down there, and Cole, you're down there. Being that he's the one who stepped on the nest in the first place. I would say you could be anywhere south of blue before we get started.
Right, works for me.
Okay. Bulwark, you are recovering from hitting this low-hanging branch. What would you like to do?
I will bonus action to gain some temporary hit points.
Okay.
And I will say to Blue, do we have to fight this thing, or can we just run away?
They're pretty fast and they want to eat us, so probably.
Okay, fair enough. And I'm going to go 1, 2.
Oh my god, we're gonna lose like all of our viewers if you kill this defenseless owlbear.
Oh
Fuck
yeah.
you, Peter.
Oh
my god.
Alright, so the 13 will hit, but the 12 will not.
Oh, thank
So you run up to this owlbear and give it a right hook across the face. And with a resounding crack, it looks pretty hurt, but it turns and roars at you.
I roll back.
Why can I not? You used your bonus action, you moved a little bit, you attacked. Cole, it is your turn.
Right, fighting it is then, eh? 5, 10, 15. Could I have done that easier? Probably. 20. And I am going to make 3 attacks.
Y'all are some murder hobos.
Oh.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Make your
It's an owlbear.
make your
They're
attacks.
notoriously not evil, but
18, 26,
Dear
22.
God. Yes, you slaughter the owlbear.
I don't even get to roll damage.
10. No, I mean, I don't know if it's dead. You're just carving it up.
26 damage.
26 damage. Yep. This owlbear looks really hurt, and as you carve away a portion of its flesh, there's just a huge portion on its side that is devoid of feathers, and it lets out a mournful cry. But it steps over its 3 eggs and stands defiant in front of you.
Well, omelets for dinner, lads.
It has legendary actions.
Blue, it's your
do I-
turn.
would I know that they're classified as beasts, or are they monsters?
No, they are most definitely not beasts.
Right, okay. I can't speak to it then. Blue will say, maybe we can just knock it out and leave it. I'm going to cast. I don't even know that I want to do anything because I can't. I don't want to get in range of it, but I also don't want to cast a spell because I can't do that non-lethally. So yeah, I'm going to call out that suggestion as I see it being heavily injured, and then I'm going to take the dodge action.
All right. Kirill, what would you like to do?
I'm gonna slap my staff next to me, hold out my hand and snap my fingers and cast Toll the Dead. And since it's taken damage,
Oh, it definitely failed.
11 necrotic.
It will take your 11 damage. Is that it?
And then
No,
I
it-
will go and draw my short sword.
It attacks Cole with disadvantage.
It attacks you because you punched it first. It's going to attempt to pierce you with its beak. Will work. It got a crit, believe it or not.
Ow.
So you will take 11 points of piercing damage, and because of your heavy armor master, you will instead take 8.
Okay. I blind it with my radiant weapon and needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
Well, it rolled a 7, so it's blind. I hope you're happy. You're going to kill this blind, motherly owlmare.
Again, onwards for dinner.
It rolled an 18 on the second hit, which I believe misses.
Yes.
All right. What's your turn, Bulwark? Even with the blindness, she roars in your face, and this spittle coats your visor.
I will listen to what Blue said, and I will attack non-lethally. Can I attack non-lethally with the Thunder Gauntlets? They do thunder damage. It's a melee attack, right?
I'm gonna say, I think so, right? I figure there's probably something like a dial or something you can turn on your gauntlets, right? And be like, all right, I'm gonna set this to stun.
Yeah.
Set it to stun, and I whack it twice.
Yeah, so on the first hit, you punch it, and it seems to kind of stagger over onto its side, but it picks itself back up, and when it does, you use that opportunity to come in with an uppercut, and it completely knocks it out. However, it does fall on its eggs.
No.
Can we can we try to stop that from happening?
How's ending on the eggs?
Sure. I'd be willing to make a strength check for that.
Could I use my reaction to sort of hold the thingy up?
Yeah, let me get both of you to make an athletics check.
Could it not just be strength?
Yeah. Oh god, I'm so.
Oh wow.
Yeah, no. You try to, but the sheer weight of this absolute unit falls and nearly crushes your hands, and all you can feel is this warm, goopy liquid.
Oh shit. That's probably not good.
Now here comes the moral. Here comes the moral dilemma. Do we let it live to feel the grief, or should we just sort of?
I raise here moral dilemma, an extra thing. Do we care?
Not particularly, but Blue does, and I tried to keep.
Sorry, Blue.
I have a feeling that if we let it live and we were the cause of all its eggs' destruction, they would probably hunt us through the forest.
Probably.
Actually, I don't know how maternal owlbears are.
Yes, that's the most vengeful thing in the forest is an owlbear.
Kill it then.
Like 10 sessions later, the owlbear will come back with class levels.
So kill it.
I think that's really the only choice.
Alright, just stab my broadsword through its neck.
All right, done. The
Okay.
owlbear's dead.
I'll go and sheath my short sword.
The owlbear's the barbarian. Nah, man, the ancestral barbarian because of the dead eggs.
Just ghosts of eggs.
Okay.
Owlbear fetuses floating in the wind.
Imagine the size of an omelette you could have made with one of those eggs. It's a shame.
So what do you guys do at
There
this
are
point?
no eggs left that are unscathed.
No, she had stepped over the eggs as if to defend them.
Well, I guess, can I make an investigation check to find the entrance to the Underdark?
So this was the end of the first day in the forest.
Oh, okay.
So you'd be,
Well, I
by the
guess
time you
we'll
get to this point, yeah, you'd be, yeah, exactly. Where do you guys want to set up camp?
Blue, if you're feeling
In
bad
the
about the
Alberta?
Albert,
Well, let me rephrase that. Do you want to set up camp here, or do you want to find somewhere else?
Blue, allow me to assuage your guilt a little bit. Think of it this way. Yes, the owlbear and her children died, but some wolves are going to be real happy later.
I let Ava have a good bite.
See? She loves it.
I don't know if the husky dog. I know she uses the stat block of a wolf, but it's a husky. Keep in mind. I don't know that she would. Oh, it depends on what you've been feeding her, I guess.
Owlbear meat, funnily enough.
I think Blue would respond saying, yeah, I'm not overly upset. That's really the way of nature, but it's still sad.
I say we take a quick stroll away from here so we don't attract any other predators, and then I guess take rest.
Could
Yeah,
I
Elfie.
send? If this happened just after the conversation with Curio, I would still have my crow perched on Cole's shoulder.
Mhm.
Could I send it sort of skyward to have a quick look around for perhaps any decent place for a camp?
I think I think you could. I think due to the density of the forest, you'd probably want it to, instead of flying too high, just kind of fly around through the woods. If that makes sense. Okay, so have your crow make an investigation check.
Oh, and now I have access to all the wild shapes.
Yes.
Crow. Where is it?
Well, it won't be a wild shape.
Crow, so...
It'll be I guess you use the Bloodhawk stat block or the Hawk stat block, and make sure you're not using wild shape because that'll throw in your mental stats.
Yeah, I will. Sorry, I will add that. Give me just a moment. The internet is a bit slow.
Yeah.
I know it has advantage, a hawk.
Mm-hmm. On perception checks.
Tony, it might be easier for you to do it because D&D Beyond is not loading, so it's going to take a while.
Okay, are you on Roll20? Just throw a /R 1d20.
It has advantage if it's a hawk, so I'll do...
On investigation?
Oh, perception. Okay, sure, I'll do 1d20.
Alright, the hawk has -4 intelligence. Oof. So, your hawk flies out, and you are waiting to hear back from it. Where are you guys when you do that? Are you just kind of hanging around here?
I mean, it's going to disappear in a little while, so...
In an hour, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
If we want to hunt ourselves, we might be able to find a place without it, but it's up to you.
Well, as you send the hawk off and you wait for a few moments for it to come back after having explored the area, you Blue, you, Kuro, and Bulwark would hear something very loud, romping through the forest, and fairly quickly at this point, you would see coming from pretty much every direction, 4 other fully grown owlbears.
Where's your bed? We can take 4 of them on.
Yep, that was that D4 that I rolled earlier.
Yeah, we can take them.
Yep, that one poor owlbear just did not survive long enough for her friends to come. Boop.
Oh no, I might just look like a pretty face. I can do combat myself, you know.
Boop. Okay. Reroll initiative.
Right, second 2 sessions, 2 characters. Let's see if we can do it.
Boop.
Let's
We
hope so,
might.
man.
Who knows? Oh, good roll. The comeuppance happens. All right. They
Oh
got
yeah,
this.
Albers are known for just, not being hostile in any way. lovely,
He's a
lovely
vigilante
creatures.
Elbears.
Vigilante outliers.
They're the defenders of Neverwinter.
I don't know if that one
The
has
new
enough speed to
Owlbear
get to you.
regiment.
Boop. Nope. They got 5-foot range, dog. Let's see. Oh, that one can get to. Let's throw you over there. Bulwark. Blue, and then we'll get right in the middle of y'all. Okay. The one from the east is going to have to dash. There's not really a choice there. Bulwark. One here that attacks you. Rolls a 26 to hit with his beak.
Okay. I use my reaction with my shield to push him 15 feet back.
Is there a strength saving throw involved in that, or it just pushes it?
Nope.
All right, I need to. I think it used 35 feet of movement to get there, so it's not going to be able to come back, and that's annoying. So it comes in and slams its beak into your chest, Bulwark. You take 13 points of piercing damage, reduced down to 10 because of your heavy armor master. And then you interpose your shield in between yourself and it, and the arcane wave of force pushes out and pushes that owlbear back. Blue, the same occurs to you. It rolls a 24 to hit.
It does indeed.
With 8 piercing damage. And after it shoves its beak into your armor and tries to get a good hold of you there, it rears a claw up and comes down to slash, but only rolls a 15, and that does not succeed.
Blue lifts his shield and blocks it.
Cole, this last one goes to you. 18 with the beak.
That's gonna miss, and I'm going to use my reaction to riposte,
Mm-hmm.
allowing me to get a free attack.
Well, it's your reaction, so it's not free.
24 to hit.
Of course, they're big, hunky owlbears.
Only 5 damage, unfortunately.
Doesn't that add your Battlemaster die as well?
It does.
Oh, it does, which is
D8.
A D8. Yeah, so let me just roll a superiority die real quick. That's 7.
All right. It will then try to attack with its claws.
Mm-hmm.
And hit with a 24.
Yep, that'll hit.
11 slashing damage.
Yep.
Cole, it would be your turn after this onslaught.
Alright, I'm gonna make 3 attacks.
Yeah.
Which one hit me?
The one. So the one from the east had a dash. It'd be the one from the south. Here.
All right, cool. Yeah, 3 attacks. 24, 12, 23
So 2 hits and 1 miss.
for 19 damage.
All right. Is that it? Oh yeah, is there action, bonus action? Did you want to move?
Nah.
All right, Blue.
I'm going to cast Bless on myself. Sorry, we're about to be interrupted. Sorry, on. Sorry, yes, so the targets of Bless are Bulwark and Cole. Yeah, just everyone but me, sorry.
Everyone
and
but
then I'm
you.
going to Hidden Step.
Okay.
So I'm now invisible. I'm going to move and whisper to Curon on the way down. I suggest you get out of the way.
Kuro, it comes to be your turn.
Cool. Is just gonna quickly crack his neck, like rolling it to loosen up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Draw his. Which weapon do I want? We'll go draw my rapier.
All right.
And he's gonna say to himself, I believe this spell is best used not on the front lines but on the back lines, and I'm gonna cast haste on myself.
Okay.
And run away.
Do you use an arcane focus or do you use a component pouch?
Yeah, I
Okay.
focus.
All right.
And then I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. Go for my rapier attack.
Mm-hmm.
19.
Of course, yeah.
6 piercing.
Yes. So you come up like a bolt of lightning, stabbing this owlbear in its side. It seems quite surprised at you being able to move so quickly, and it turns its owl neck at you, and you definitely have its full attention at this point.
Just double checking if I don't have any bonus action stuff, so that's me.
All right, Bulwark, it's your turn.
I will go 1, 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make some Thunder Gauntlet attacks. This is for the one above me.
All right.
God bless.
Yep.
The one to your right or the one to your left? You mean?
Oh, sorry. The one to my right.
I mean, if you want to hit Cole, you can. I'm fine with that.
Okay, I hit Cole.
Oh, you miss. All right, 7 points of thunder damage.
Fuck, I missed the other one.
You do, yes. So you come in with the hook, and it definitely seems dazed from that blast of thunder energy. But when you go in for the second one, it's more than ready for you, and it lifts its claw up and deflects the blow, and on the downswing, attempts to slash you. 24.
Oh, it's the turn.
Yeah.
So bonus action, temporary hit points.
Oh, yes.
A 24 does hit.
All right, so 8 points of slashing damage with
my
that claw.
reaction to blind it.
God.
It needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
Well, it rolled a 12, so of course it's blinded.
How much damage was it? Sorry?
8 points of slashing damage, so reduce that down to 5. And then it will attempt to blindly stab at you. But it rolls an 18 because of the disadvantage. This one here, I think, actually, it's not even going to move up. It's going to stay there, and it too is going to attack you, Bulwark. Stabbing with the beak is a 17, and then it gets a crit with the claws.
Motherfucker. Why do
So,
I have an AC?
so as the other one stabs with the beak, and you blind it, you're caught off guard when from the rear this massive claw slams into your back, digging in through your plate mill. You're probably going to have to repair that. 27 points of slashing damage. Reduce that down to 24 because of your feet. And then because it's you're the closest foe, Kuro, and it no longer sees where blue is, you're gonna get attacked by 2 owlbears, Kuro.
Come at me.
Beak attack first from the one that ran up to you is a 25.
It's gonna hit me anyway, but I'm gonna cast shield.
All right. So you'll take 7 points of piercing damage, and go ahead and roll concentration for haste. Ooh, nope, that just barely succeeds because of that 10 there. All right, the one who ran up at you will also claw. It rolls a natural 1. That's unfortunate. I think that the arcane wall definitely distracts it. That moment of it springing into existence, the owlbear looks very confused and almost shocked as it rears away for a moment. The one that you're not focused on, however, will roll a 9 to hit with its beak, and that will miss, but rolls a crit on the claws. for 31 points of slashing damage.
31.
Mm-hmm. How you looking there?
Joe,
How you looking there, Kuro?
At 0.
Ooh.
why would
What's
you
the
build a
point of
frontline
25
wizard?
AC?
Leave him alone.
I'm on your side, Bulwark. What's the point of having 25 AC?
I don't know, man. As a DM, I've always rolled an unnatural amount of crits.
You have.
Cole, it is your turn. You hear a shout of anguish as you see, out of the corner of your eye, Kuro fall to a really nasty claw attack.
Son of a gun. Okay, 3 attacks on the one that's injured that I've already been injuring.
Mm-hmm.
You have
With
advantage because
a
it's the blinded one.
14.
No, the one that's down here. The 14 does hit,
14.
yes. Their AC is 13.
A 17.
Yep. We'll go ahead and roll damage first, so that way if it dies, you can attack
That's
something
it.
else.
Yep, sure. That is 11 plus 12.
Yep, still alive.
3 plus
But the third
9
attack,
more.
yeah, the third attack finishes it for sure.
Okay, then I'm going to use my action surge
All right.
to take 2 more attacks
Go
on
for
the
it.
one that's blinded with advantage.
Yep.
With a 19
Mm-hmm.
and a miss.
Yep. All right, go ahead and roll
7
damage for the one.
damage.
Go ahead and set up your sheet so that you automatically roll damage on hits.
Yeah, I can do that. And that's a 9 slashing.
Yep. It takes it. Like a flurry of blades, even though not every attack hits, you down the first owlbear and cut a swath into the second.
As a free action, can I throw a wink at Bulwark?
Sure.
Yes.
Blue, you pop back into visibility and you see that Kuro is bleeding rather profusely.
Blue will be like, but I just walked past you. And then he will cast Healing Word with his bonus action.
Okay.
No, I'll use my Channel Divinity. I think I'm in range. Let me just double check the range of that. 30 feet. No, I'm not within 30 feet. I will move up here, which should. No, I'm going to move here.
Okay.
And then here. And then I will Channel Divinity Preserve Life. Kuro, you have 20 more hit points.
Not quite 20 because he has less hit points than that. He would be able to get up to 19, I think. Okay. Yeah.
If I'm able to move that one to Bulwark, I don't know if anyone's even below half health except for Kuro.
Yeah, you could get it to Bulwark.
Okay, I'll put it on Bulwark. And then with my bonus action, I will. Why not? I'll cast Spiritual Weapon.
Right, where would you like that to go?
I would like it to appear here. And I would like it to take the form of sort of like an uprooted tree that's sort of, but it's not like an actual tree. It's sort of an incorporeal form of a tree that glitters with sort of what's it called? I can't even remember the name. Like lines that sort of connect the vital points of the tree and out into the branches, and it will swing down.
Veins?
Yeah,
Roots?
that works. That works. And it will swing down at this creature.
Sure.
Let me make that attack. Spiritual weapon +9.
Colin's going to have so many things
God
to say at
damn
the
it.
end of this.
That'll miss, yeah.
Why
So I
did
think
bless myself.
I think it's definitely very shocked that this tree springs up out of nowhere. But it is big enough that it is able to easily avoid it.
Okay, unfortunate.
Kuro, you are prone on the ground. You are actually not stunned, but I don't think you're able to take an action because haste has fallen.
Yeah.
Are you able to do anything? I don't recall. Let's see.
On the spell.
Cannot move or take actions. Did you have a bonus action you wanted to take?
What bonus action?
It's a wizard.
Okay. Bulwark, it's your turn.
Motherfucker. Okay, 1, 2.
It will
Wait, can I
definitely
see
take an
this? Wait.
attack of opportunity. Oh no, it can't because it can't see you. Yeah, it's blinded.
Yeah, get fucked. And I'll go up to the, and I will cast Blur on myself.
All right.
Then I will bonus action to get my temporary hit points for the last time.
Why is it doing this?
For the last time, that's ominous.
Oh, little long rest.
All right. It is the owlbear's go. Is it until the end of their turn or the end of your turn?
Blinded, but at
Okay.
the end of this turn, no longer. At the end of this turn.
All right. So that one will take its 2 attacks against you, Cole. That's disadvantage. So it will roll a 10 on its beak and a 15 on its claw attack.
Reaction riposte.
Sure. Yeah, you flick the claw out of the air with your broadsword and stab through to its chest, dealing the 6 slashing.
1d8.
Yep.
9 slashing.
9 slashing. And then it is no longer blinded. Kuro, the one on top of you, is going to stab you downwards with its beak. Ooh. Put an F in the chat for this double crit.
What?
I'm gonna put this in the Discord for y'all. You only take 11. You only take 11 points of damage from it though. It rolled pretty bad on the damage roll.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Your character and getting body out of nowhere.
No.
Well, that was with the beak. The 31 was with the claws. It's gonna attack him now with the claws. It rolls an 18 to hit you.
I shield.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, it slams down into your chest with the beak, and it knocks the wind out of you. And as it raises up the claw, you're able to see it coming and throw up the arcane wall, and it slams its claw down into the 4 inches from your chest. Bulwark, these attacks have disadvantage on you, right? Because of blur. Okay. Can you put blur in the chat so people can read it?
Of course I will.
It rolls a 14 on its claw attack against you.
Misses.
And an 11 with its claw. The illusory form that you take that kind of shivers around you is very confusing to this poor, dumb creature. And that is their turn. So, Cole, it is yours.
Make your opportunity attack.
All right, it will. With its claws rearing up to slash into your back, it rolls a natural 1.
Yep, cool. Then I'm going to do 3 attacks on this owlbear.
All right, go for it. Yep, 6 hits, 18 hits. Yep, those all 3 hit. 6 and 9 is 15. Plus 8 is 23. Yes. Mm-hmm. Like a whirling dervish, you transfer from one opponent to the other. Would there be anything else? You moved a little bit. Action, bonus action? Probably not.
Yep. And I've already used my reaction. It's turn, so it's all good.
All right, Blue, it is your turn.
Suddenly left alone with this owlbear that I ran over here for safety, I'm going to I'm gonna back away.
All right.
Yeah, and I guess I'm going to guiding bolt this one.
All right, roll to hit. Yep, 19 hits. Go ahead and roll damage. Nice. So you strike out with this silvery bolt of radiant energy, leaving a brand on the creature. It is still alive, though.
And then the glimmering incorporeal tree will slash down its branches at this owlbear.
All right, go ahead.
pressed it. I don't know why it hasn't come up. Let me double check.
Oh, it's rolled twice.
17 hits. Roll damage. Oh, 9. 9 points of force damage. Being distracted now by Bulwark, you're able to more easily slam down with your magical tree.
Okie doke.
All right, Kuro, anything from you?
A deep sigh as I get up. I'm not saying a word. I will use one of my meta magic points for subtle spell, so I can cast magic missile at 3rd level.
All right, at which one?
I'll fire. How are they already looking?
I don't know that necessarily be able to ascertain that, having just been knocked out and being picked back up.
Okay, I'll send. How many bolts? It's 5 of them.
Yep, it would be 5.
I'll send 2 at the one that Bulwark's fighting,
Mm-hmm.
2 at the ones that Cole's fighting, on the 5th one at the other.
All right, so go ahead and roll 2 of them first. 2d4 plus 2. All right, so 7 to this one. And for the next.
6.
All right, and then the last one.
2.
All right. Is that it?
Yep.
All right. You jettison out these nearly transparent magical darts that eject out from your arcane focus and split off towards these 3 different targets. Bulwark.
Gonna go 1, 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can be in the same spot. That's fine.
Thunder Gauntlet to the one above me.
All right. Definitely
Thunder
hits.
Gauntlet to the one below me. There we go.
Damned if they hit you, damned if they don't.
Yep, so they've got disadvantage on attacks that aren't against me and disadvantage on attacks against me.
Okay. Well, on their turn. Huh. Well, the one that Cole ran away from is going to run up to him
That's fun.
and chase after its prey. I rolled a crit.
Okay.
It's 7 points of piercing damage from the beak.
What the
Yep.
fuck? This is bullshit. I did 31.
I mean, I would really like for another crit on the claws. That'd be great, but I rolled a 12 on the claws, so that's unfortunate that it misses.
And we all know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm,
Right?
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How many of them superiority dice you got left there, bud?
You
One
have
after
advantage.
this.
You
have
do it.
advantage on that
I
attack.
do have advantage.
Crit it back. Crit it back.
Nope.
I'm going to take the 24 though. 10 plus superiority die. 15 damage.
All right, so it slams into your back with the beast, and then with a twirl, you turn around and slice it across its forehead, exposing its interior brain, and it slumps over dead instantly.
Okie dokes.
The other 2 are going to attack you, Bulwark, despite their disadvantage. Let's see, beaks first. 15 and a natural 1, followed by claws, 24.
Yes.
All right, so that's 10 slashing damage.
Okay.
And
I
then
will use my reaction to blind that one and use make a Constitution saving throw.
it rolls a natural 1, so it is blinded.
That was 10, correct?
Yes, reduced down to 7. And then I need you to roll
Which one's the blinded
concentration. The one to the back. Yep. These defensive effects that you guys have is too much. The other one rolled an 11 to hit, so that's unfortunate. The second dice, if it had advantage, it would have rolled a crit, and you would have taken 24 points of slashing damage. But
Also
unfortunately
add
not.
less to your saves. Bulwark.
Oh. My bad.
All right, Cole, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
3 attacks on the one above me.
All right, go for
I
it.
got a 25. Do I fail my Constitution saving throw?
Yes. Little did you know its claws were coated in a natural poison.
18, and then 21. For a
Uh,
total of 24 plus 5, 29 slashing damage.
You cut it into ribbons.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything else? Do you want to move?
I'm pretty tired. No, I'll move. Actually, no, there's no point because on my next turn I can move and attack it if it's not dead anyway. So
Right.
where was I?
I don't recall. I think
about here.
I think here, roughly.
Yeah.
Blue, your turn. You rolled a 0 to hit, Blue.
Yeah, I have advantage.
I'm
on this, so
kidding.
just,
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll it again because the spells it's a bit weird. So 17.
Yeah, that hits. Roll damage. Boom, done. This poor thing didn't stand a chance. Kuro, you're up. You have advantage on your first attack against it.
It's blinded. So
Oh, that's right. Never mind.
I've still got my rapier in one of my hands. I'm gonna drop my staff part, my short sword, and go for a couple attacks.
All right, go for it.
Crit.
Nice. Roll damage.
Could I cast Booming Blade on that?
No, unfortunately not. You got to declare that before you make the attack roll.
12.
Right. You get a really good stab into right underneath its neck, but it is still standing.
Short sword.
Mm-hmm. That hits.
Max damage 6.
How did you get 2 attacks? You're a wizard.
Bonus action offhand.
Do you have dual wielder?
Both my weapons are light.
Rapiers are not light.
Are they not?
Nope.
Oh. I guess no short sword then.
Okay. Bulwark.
Good old faithful.
Okay, so you kill it on the first hit. What happens to this? What
I don't want this.
What happens to the owlbear?
I think Bulwark will sort of just look a little bit, sad. He doesn't want to kill these things, but kind of forced upon him, and he will sort of just try and like hit it across the side of the neck, so it just snaps it as quickly and as painlessly as he can.
Painfully. Excruciating.
And then I don't want to waste my other attack, so I will hit Curry. I don't know how to pronounce that name.
You knock him out.
Who did you hit?
Kuro.
Why?
I'm kidding. He doesn't hit you. Yeah. As the battle dies down and you guys kind of sit through the adrenaline of the action, Blue, your crow comes back.
Hello, Crow.
It caws at you.
Wait, how does Find Familiar work? I don't remember. Let me double check. Can I speak with it telepathically? Is that something I can do?
You know what? Actually, I think you can.
I know pseudo dragons can talk telepathically, but that's just because they're a pseudo dragon. And that's a
I don't have the Find Familiar thing on my.
It doesn't say any. Oh yeah, you can communicate with it telepathically. It says that there is a small glade not very far from here. That seems like it would be all right. Or it relays that information in a way that a crow would be able to.
Okay, I tell it lead the way, and then I'll gesture to my friend.
That was a lot of fun. I completely forgot that my character had an accent. Give me a second.
I guess you could say that.
More fun than I've had in years, that's for sure.
Blue, do you have any of your berries? I'm a bit worn down a bit.
I have some berries. Does anyone else? Oh, I mean, you guys haven't traveled with us before. And he'll sort of rip a sprig from his growing from between his shield, and it's got 20 berries hanging off it currently. And he says these are healing berries, I guess you could call them. If you want some, let me know. And I'll pass how many to Bulwark?
How many do they heal again?
4, these ones.
I will need 8.
Okay, I will give Bulwark 8 berries.
If you don't mind, I'll take a couple of berries.
How many?
4 would be fine.
Okay. Do you need any, Cole?
All right, honest, but you know, when in Rome doesn't make sense here.
What?
When in Waterdeep?
When in Waterdeep. Yeah, I think so. Or when
When on the
in...
Sword Coast.
I think probably the analogy would probably be when in Netheril.
When in Netheril, I'll take one.
I hand you 6 berries and eat the rest.
That is way too many. I'm really not that badly injured.
Eat them.
Each one fills you up like an entire meal, so
Yeah.
Cole's probably like eat one and be like, oh, that's strange. Then not have a clue what to do with the other 5.
Mm-hmm.
I've put on a bit of weight walking through. The walking keeps me fit, but I feel like a bit of a sumo wrestler.
I can't imagine these have very many calories in them.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah, I don't
I've
think
got-
it's like fully eating like a full day's worth of food. It just magically nourishes you.
I've got a good berry gullet.
Yeah, that'd be getting in way too deep for me.
Well, you'd also need like a full day's worth of calories as well.
No, you wouldn't.
Magical calories. Don't worry about it.
Magical calories. The kind of calories that you neither get fatter nor thinner on. Man, I wish.
No.
That would be
What?
great.
Why was there a see-through tree? And why
Oh,
did he move faster than I could see him? And
Okay.
then get flattened.
So I'd
Much experience with magic, Cole.
Not really, no.
Well, that's what it was.
Yeah, I
Magic.
wouldn't
The
worry
tree
about
was
it.
mine, and Curios, I've never actually seen that before, but I'm assuming it's some wizardly ability.
It just allows me to heighten my physical abilities for a short amount of time.
Have you ever, instead of doing that fancy stuff, just kind of stabbing it and don't move no more?
We'll leave that to you.
Fair enough.
All right. So as you guys bed down in this camp that you arrange in Blue's 4-person tent, do you keep watch?
Yes.
All right. In what order?
I think, unless stated otherwise, we'll probably do the same order of Kuro for the first 2, Blue for the third, and then Bulwark for the 4th.
Well,
I'll join with Bulwark.
now I know Kuro as an elf, you have trance, so you can stay up for 4 hours if you wanted to.
I have to take the first 2.
Okay, so you for the first one, and then Bulwark will join you for the second, Blue for third, and Cole for last.
No.
Oh, I messed up.
Kuro is doing the first 2.
Oh,
Blue is
okay.
doing the third, and Bulwark and Cole are doing the last.
Gotcha. Okay, I misunderstood.
Because neither of us are exactly perceptive, shall you say.
I'm going to actually write that down in the chat, because that's easier for me to remember.
And at the end of my first 2 watches, I'll go cast Mage Armor with Extend.
Okay. Easy enough to do. The night goes by with no more interruption than the occasional loud hooting and general forest noises. What are these D4s for that you've been rolling all night, Bulwark?
They are my recharges for my radiant weapon and shield.
Gotcha. Okay.
Meanwhile, I get all 3 expense superiority dice back. Wonderful.
It's still rather warm, and it's still raining a good bit. As you bed down and as you wake up, the rain is letting up, and there is a decrease in the temperature back to what is more seasonal. It is nearing winter. It's the end of fall. And there is a slight breeze blowing through that alleviates some of the heat and some of the humidity. As you begin to walk through the forest and attempt to find an entrance to the Underdark, I think that being that we're so close to 10 o'clock is, well, no, we can go on for another 5 minutes. Who is wanting to lead the investigation for a search to the Underdark?
Will this be an
I
investigation check?
I think it could go a number of ways. I think it could go for a nature check to try to see if you already know, like if you've passed through this forest before and you would know where it is. I think it could be an investigation check, and I also think it could be a survival check.
Or could it be a stone cutting check?
I don't think it could be a stone cutting check. So have your pick of nature, survival, or investigation. So with Bulwark leading the way, I think for the first 4 hours of the morning,
Can I give him advantage?
well, not since he's already rolled it.
Ah.
I think for the first 4 hours of the day, you have Bulwark leading the way, and at a roundabout point, you end up back at the owlbear's nest.
Sorry, I thought. Oh wait, the sun's that way. Yeah, I thought we were heading east, not west.
And Blue,
Blue will attempt to find it.
you have a thought that perhaps an entrance to the Underdark might lie closer to the mountain range, to Mount Hotnow. I hope that's how it's pronounced. And as you lead the party in that direction and you examine closely where the forest meets the mountain, indeed, there is a cavern or the opening of a cave that is very dark. And even from the point of entrance seems to descend down.
Well, that doesn't look very pleasant, does it?
It certainly doesn't look very welcoming, but I'm sure it'll be okay.
Well, it looks like home to me. Hope Ava doesn't mind too much. No.
Actually, yeah, I think Ava would have come down with us, and I'll give a little scratch behind the ears. And I'll have my mace out, providing a quite wonderful yellow radiant light around us.
Gonna light a torch.
Do you like the smell of smoke? I don't.
No,
Do you?
but I also can't see in the dark. So
Oh, I thought you asked me if I wanted to light a torch instead.
As long as you stay near myself and Bulwark, you shouldn't need a torch because we have a constant torch.
Yeah, as Bulwark pulls out his mace and unwraps it from a bit of burlap, you would see that it seems to give off light comparable to that of a lit torch. Cole.
fair enough. More of that magic-y stuff, I'm guessing.
Indeed. I can give you one if you like. I could make your sword shine like that, like a torch.
I don't know if glowing would go with my whole deal. You know what I mean?
It could look cool though.
As we're
And I could
walking
make
through-
it like a certain color.
I can
as
only
we're-
imagine it's not great for sneaking around though.
As you have this conversation and head into the cave, descending down into what you hope will be a path to your destination, Bulwark, you feel a sense of almost belonging. This feels inherently familiar to you as you head deeper into the earth. And we will pick up next week, same time, same place, with our crew heading into the Underdark in the hopes of finding King Brunor Battlehammer. Thank you all for joining. Hope to see you again.
Sweet.
You know, this build worked out way better than I thought it would.
I'm gonna go say goodbye to the viewers on my side and send them off somewhere place.
See you guys.